Ninja World Live Stream. My Pet Rabbit is Kaguya. Chapter 001. All I wanted was to grow up with Hinata. Wherever there are leaves dancing, fire will burn. The shadow of fire illuminates the village, and new leaves sprout. A ninja's true power emerges only when protecting what they cherish. In other words, to grow stronger, one needs someone to protect. So, who did he want to protect? A black-haired boy in the Ninja Academy pondered this as he stared at his exam paper. Year 61 of Konoha, 145th Genin graduation exam. The test had written and practical sections. He was exempt from the latter, so only the written exam remained. He scribbled just enough answers to pass, then rested his hands on the desk. No need to compete for top rank or pretend to be a dropout. Just secure the minimum and move on. After all, he wasn't from this world. Kitahara Kaide, formerly a student who died from overstudying, woke up reborn in Konoha as a war orphan. The village's deal was simple: we raise you, you serve us. He didn't refuse. But unlike others, he had no ambition. His past life ended from pushing too hard. This time, he'd live normally. Become an average ninja. Raise a pet rabbit. Ninjas often kept summons, and though not yet official, Kaide had one, a white-eyed rabbit he'd found 3 years ago. Aloof, prideful, but stunningly beautiful, so he kept it. Uruka-sensei. I'm submitting early. Amidst the scratching of pencils, Kaide raised his hand. Uruka checked the paper, 61/100ths, all correct, and sighed. The boy was brilliant but lazy. Passed. Here's your forehead protector. With that, Konoha gained a new ninja. A voice called out, but a hand clutched his arm first. The girl had waist-length black hair, pearlescent eyes, and a figure already hinting at future curves. Dressed in a blue jacket with fishnet stockings, she was Hinata, but the blackened version. In this world, the road to ninja, Hinata existed too, bold, assertive, and clingy. Every month, she'd switch personalities for a week. Kaide didn't mind. 2 Hinatas were better than 1. Why'd you follow me? He tried pulling free, but she clung tighter. I passed too. She flashed her forehead protector, eyes gleaming. Praise me. Kaide sighed. His rabbit was icy, yet this Hinata was fire. Let's go to the weapon shop. No need. She preened. I bought 3 sets, 1 for you, 1 spare, and 1 for me to keep. Quote ellipsis. Why? For luck. Kaide deadpanned. Then let's buy rabbit food. Hinata froze. Quote ellipsis. I'm not visiting your house today. Why? Your rabbit hates me. She shuddered. It looks at me like I'm trash. Chapter 002. My ninja rabbit is somewhat special. The ninja rabbit in Kitahara Kaide's home was picked up 3 years ago at the entrance of Konoha village. At that time, the rabbit had fainted, and he took it home with him. He basically treated it as an ordinary pet. But if even the clingy black Hinata froze in its presence, didn't that mean his rabbit was somewhat unusual? Pondering this, Kaide returned to his residence. The village provided housing for war orphans. Kaide was assigned an apartment on the 2nd floor. He glanced at the neighboring unit. It was where Uzumaki Naruto lived. That's right. Naruto, also a war orphan, lived next door. But their living conditions were worlds apart. Unlike Kaide's spotless apartment, Naruto's place was small and shabby, with graffiti scrawled across the door. Fox demon, get out. You don't deserve to be a ninja. 9-tailed freak. It was downright pitiful. The 3rd Hokage hadn't been fair. Naruto's father was the 4th Hokage. He should have been hailed as a hero's son. But the 3rd concealed that identity while revealing Naruto's status as the 9-tails Jinchuriki. The 9-tails attack had caused massive casualties. Most shinobi families suffered losses, and since they couldn't direct their anger at the 3rd, they took it out on Naruto instead. So, the little boy endured far too much. He always acted cheerful, but late at night, Kaide often heard him crying. Kaide used the body flicker technique to slip into Naruto's apartment and left the takeout he'd brought on the table. Naruto received a stipend as an orphan, but no one would sell him food. Even when he could order takeout, it was often tampered with. So, Kaide made a habit of bringing him meals. But Naruto wasn't his focus right now. Kaide pushed open his own door. His 75 square meter apartment was comfortable and cozy, a stark contrast to Naruto's cramped 30 square meter unit. His monthly allowance was also 30,000 ryo, unlike Naruto's meager few thousand. The fourth worked his ass off for what? He's gone, and his son's suffering. He'd have been better off slacking, refusing the Hokage title, and taking care of his family. But Kaide's attention quickly shifted. He looked toward the windowsill and spoke. You're staring at the moon already. But it's not even out yet. If you want to see it, I can show you anytime. Still, you need to eat something today. His gaze settled on a soft blanket in the corner of the window, where a rabbit sat with its back turned to him, aloof and proud. Kaide approached and leaned against the windowsill, studying his pet. This rabbit had peculiar habits. It spent its days fa-dai, zoning out, staring at the moon from the windowsill. Even if he opened the window, it never ran away. Yet it was also foolish. When it rained, it stayed put, getting soaked. The rabbit's fur was snow white, its paws a delicate red, and its eyes pure white. Unlike ordinary rabbits with wine-red eyes, his pets were utterly colorless, so clear they seemed translucent. One glance was enough to leave an unforgettable impression. Admittedly, while most animals in the ninja world could talk, use chakra, and cooperate with shinobi, his rabbit never made a sound. Not even a squeak. Like it was mute. But, despite its flaws, his rabbit was, undoubtedly, the most beautiful one, right? Kaide reached out, using the body flicker technique to appear behind it. Poof. But the rabbit instantly teleported to the opposite side of the sill, lifting its eyes to glare at him coldly. Still refusing to be touched, huh? This stubbornness dated back to 3 years ago, when he'd first found it unconscious and rubbed its butt so much he made a bald spot. The rabbit had been horrified upon waking up. And it still held a grudge. Snick, snick. Kaide washed and sliced the carrots he'd bought, selecting the most tender, pinkish center pieces and discarding the rest. This rabbit didn't run, flee, vocalize, or speak, but it was extremely picky about food. If the meal didn't meet its standards, it would starve for a month. Strangely, even after a month without food or water, it showed no signs of weakness, its fur remained lustrous. Almost like it didn't need sustenance. The only known creatures like that were the tailed beasts. Kaide had wondered if this rabbit was a transformed tailed beast, but it never revealed any clues. He placed the plate on the table. Only then did the rabbit leave the windowsill, teleporting to the table in an instant. It refused to eat off the floor or from pet dishes, only human plates, on the table. After eating, it even wiped its mouth with a napkin. So damn fussy. But as Kaide handed it a carrot slice, the rabbit suddenly hesitated, then dropped the carrot and grabbed his left middle finger with both paws. Oh. Finally acknowledging me as your master. Wanting to act cute. Kaide was delighted. But then. Sharp pain. My eyes. Something was wrong. Meanwhile, Hatake Kakashi arrived at the academy. Chapter 003. The Descendants. Chat group opens, please support. Kakashi had received unpleasant news. The third Hokage was pulling him from Anbu duties, this time for good. He was being forced to take on a genin team, and one of his students would be the son of his late teacher, the fourth Hokage, who was also the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki. Kakashi had always believed his teacher and the child died during the Nine-Tails attack. But now he was being told that very child was the village's most despised outcast. Back then, Minato had personally assigned him to protect Kushina during her pregnancy. And yet, what the hell had he even protected? Regret gnawed at him, but he had a job to do. The third informed him that Naruto would graduate, and Kakashi was to be his jonin instructor. Normally, teams consisted of 3 genin. Aside from Naruto, another member was pre-selected. Uchiha Sasuke, the last survivor of the Uchiha clan. Both boys carried heavy legacies. Kakashi needed a third student to balance the team. Standard practice was 2 boys and 1 girl, but are these all the exam papers? Kakashi, ever meticulous, didn't want to choose carelessly. Yes, Iruka nodded. Every student's exam is here. Also, there's one particular student I'd like to mention. As a Chunin instructor, Iruka was nervous around the famed copy ninja. But since Kakashi would be teaching Naruto, Iruka wanted to recommend a suitable teammate. He'd taught these kids since they were 6, he knew them. Oh, no need for recommendations. Kakashi brushed him off. But then, his eye caught on a specific exam paper. The name written on the edge. Kitahara Kaide. This one. Kakashi frowned. Yes, 60 points, a pass, Iruka said. That's actually the student I wanted to recommend. He's brilliant. I suspect his knowledge and skills might surpass even Sasuke's. A genius. Kakashi had been a prodigy himself, graduating at 5, becoming a Chunin at 6. How much more genius could this kid be? But a quick skim of the exam revealed something odd. The student had only answered enough to pass, and every answer was correct. That kind of precision suggested either a twisted sense of humor or genuine talent. Interesting. Just as Kakashi pondered this, a voice exploded in his mind. Ding. Descendants chat group, _, has been created. Alternate name. Kitahara Kaide Observation Squad. Live broadcasts of Kaide's activities will be available for 3 hours daily. This group transcends time, space, and even death. Minimum entry requirement. Cage level strength or recognized cage status. Welcome, the weakest Hokage, 6th Hokage Hatake Kakashi. Kakashi was baffled. Location detected. Konoha. Special permission granted to invite 3 Konoha cage level figures. Options. A. Uchiha Madara, B. Hashirama Senju, C. Minato Namikaze, D. Tobirama Senju. Closing square bracket. Kakashi was completely lost. Time remaining. 3 seconds. Random selection commencing. 6th Hokage, Kakashi. Selection complete. Hashirama Senju, Tobirama Senju, Minato Namikaze added. Ding, at Minato Namikaze, your student Kakashi is here. Won't you greet him? At Hashirama Senju, at Tobirama Senju, welcome to the Descendants, chat group, _. Minato Namikaze. What is this place? Tobirama Senju. Fascinating. Hashirama Senju. Oh. Tobirama, you're here too. Did you finally die? I've been waiting forever in that cramped pure world. Tobirama Senju. Chapter 004. Tobirama. I chose Sarutobi as Hokage, the village must be doing great now. Descendants, juniors, and little ones, _, chat group. Tobirama Senju. I was planning to carefully read the rules that appeared before me. Tobirama Senju. But I have to admit, the loud, headache-inducing guy shouting is definitely my brother. Tobirama Senju. Anija, it really is me, Tobirama. Hashirama Senju. This is unbelievable. Hashirama Senju. After I died, I appeared in a small, rundown room with nothing inside. Hashirama Senju. I couldn't help but sigh. Is this the afterlife? Hashirama Senju. I was deceived. The afterlife isn't about reuniting with ancestors but being stuck in a shabby little room. Hashirama Senju. Time just passed, yet it felt like no time had passed at all. Minato Namikaze. You're in the same situation. Though my assigned house is a bit better, not as run down. Hashirama Senju. And you are? Minato Namikaze. Ah, I'm Minato Namikaze, the 4th Hokage. I've seen your photos on the walls of the Hokage's office. Minato Namikaze. You two look exactly like in the pictures. Tobirama Senju. That's because Anija died around 40, and I died in my 30s, both in our prime. Minato Namikaze. Hashirama Senju. Tobirama, don't be so harsh. So, you're the 4th. That means the village is already on its fourth Hokage. Tobarama Senju. Not just that. There's also a silent sixth Hokage here. Tobarama Senju. Let me see. Sixth Hokage, Kakashi. Minato Namikaze. Kakashi. Kakashi. You're dead too. Sixth Hokage, Kakashi Hatake. Well, how should I put this? I don't think I'm dead. Sixth Hokage, Kakashi Hatake. Everyone, take a look at the content in front of you first. Kakashi himself was still dazed. He thought he might be under a genjutsu. Because not only were his teacher Minato and the first and second Hokage here, this was way too exaggerated. He had just learned that Naruto was his teacher's child, yet Naruto had been treated so poorly. And now he was seeing his teacher again. Kakashi felt incredibly conflicted. Minato Namikaze. I see. So, those of us who have died are here because of this small group chat. Hashirama Senju. This chat group transcends past, present, future, space, time, and even death. What an overbearing description. Tobarama Senju. And the key point is, what does descendants, juniors, and little ones mean here? Tobarama Senju. Does that mean we're all juniors? If Minato and Kakashi are the fourth and sixth Hokage, that's understandable. Tobarama Senju. But Anija and I are the first and second Hokage. Tobarama Senju. Are we not senior enough? Minato Namikaze. Lord Second does have a point. Minato Namikaze. And with cage level as the entry requirement, this group's standards are high. Minato Namikaze. What I'm curious about is, what's the deal with the 3-hour daily livestream of Kaide Kitahara? Tobarama Senju. Who's Kaide Kitahara? Tobarama Senju. Minato, you're the fourth, Kakashi's the sixth, as Kaide Kitahara the fifth Hokage. Minato Namikaze. This group requires cage level to join. Kakashi, you've improved. Sixth Hokage, Kakashi Hatake. Kakashi was still in shock. Sixth Hokage, Kakashi Hatake. Ah. Kakashi suddenly let out a sound. Minato Namikaze. What's wrong, Kakashi? Sixth Hokage, Kakashi Hatake. I can sense my body. It collapsed, and Iruka is taking me to Konoha Hospital. Minato Namikaze. Minato Namikaze. So you're still alive. Sixth Hokage, Kakashi Hatake. Yeah. I'm still alive. Minato Namikaze. In that case, this group chat is truly impressive. Minato Namikaze. That means those of us who have passed away are here as souls. Minato Namikaze. That's why Kakashi experienced discomfort when his soul left his body. Minato began analyzing. Minato Namikaze. Wait a second. Tobarama Senju. What's wrong? Tobarama noticed that this fourth Hokage had strong analytical skills. Minato Namikaze. Since we're dead, and Kakashi is grown up and still alive, that means it's been over a decade since my death. Minato Namikaze. So, doesn't that mean we can learn about the village's current state through Kakashi? Minato Namikaze. And the live stream here allows us to see the surroundings of this Kaide Kitahara. Minato Namikaze. That means we can see the village too, right? Hashirama Senju. That makes sense. I'd love to see how the village has developed. The usually quiet Hashirama chimed in, excited. As the first Hokage, the founder of it all, he had died too early to witness the village's growth. So he was eager. Tobarama Senju. I chose Sarutobi as the third Hokage, with Danzo and the others as advisors. The village must be thriving now. Tobarama suddenly grew excited. Minato Namikaze. Ah. Then I'd like to see how my son is doing. Minato Namikaze. Before I died, I sealed the 9 tails inside him. I wonder how he's been. Minato Namikaze. Naruto has the 9 tails and the Uzumaki bloodline, so he must be doing well, right? Minato Namikaze. Kakashi, how's Naruto doing? Sixth Hokage, Kakashi Hatake. Kakashi's head instantly throbbed. Ding. System notification. Kakashi Hatake has gone offline. Minato Namikaze. Hashirama Senju. Tobarama Senju. Minato Namikaze. Was Kakashi's disconnection normal or not? Tobarama Senju. What do you mean, Minato? Minato Namikaze. Kakashi is my student. He used to be introverted, but his heart is in the right place. Minato Namikaze. If he was disconnected due to the group chat's mechanics, then fine. Minato Namikaze. But if he logged off himself? Minato Namikaze. That might mean. Minato Namikaze. Kakashi couldn't answer, meaning things are bad, and he didn't dare to respond. Question mark question mark question mark question mark. The group chat fell silent. Then, everyone noticed a video appearing in the center of the chat. Today's 3-hour livestream of Kaide Kitahara begins. Chapter 005. Holy crap, this kid awakened the Rinnegan, please support with data. Descendants, juniors, and little ones, _chat group. Minato Namikaze. So this is the livestream. Tobarama Senju. According to the rules we just read, it's a daily 3-hour livestream. Big dummy Hashirama. Based on the current members, we're all from Konoha, so this Kaide Kitahara must be a Konoha kid too, right? Minato Namikaze. Yeah, Minato Namikaze. But, somehow, Tobarama Senju. What's wrong? Fourth, Minato Namikaze. I feel like I've seen this Kaide Kitahara somewhere before, but my memory's a mess. Tobarama Senju. If you remember him. Given Kakashi's current state, it's been over a decade since your death. Tobarama Senju. But this Kaide Kitahara doesn't match your age group. Minato Namikaze. Then, is it like the group rules say, he's from the past or future? Tobarama Senju. So this kid might be from the future. That's interesting. Hashirama Senju. Could you guys slow down? Hashirama Senju. Let me join the analysis too. Tobarama Senju. Forget it, Anija. You only know brute force. If you had brains as Hokage, the great ninja wars wouldn't have happened. Hashirama Senju. Huh. Great ninja wars. Tobarama Senju. You didn't know, did you? Even though you bowed and brought the 5 Kage together for the first summit, the moment you died, the other 4 Kage rebelled. Tobarama Senju. Their first move was wiping out Uzushiogakure, then attacking Konoha. Hashirama Senju. No way. Is that true? Tobarama Senju. It's the truth. Tobarama Senju. And I died during the first Great Ninja War. Hashirama Senju. How could this be? So, was my vision wrong? Hashirama Senju. After my death, instead of helping each other, the shinobi world descended into even worse chaos. Tobarama Senju. You're just too naive. Tobarama's soul sat cross-legged, resting his chin on his hand. Meanwhile, his gaze shifted to the video in the center of the chat. The video showed a young boy with short black hair and golden pupils. He seemed different somehow. At the moment, he was feeding his pet summon, a ninja rabbit. Strangely, both the boy and the rabbit gave off an unusual aura. The rabbit was picky, sniffing around before selecting a perfectly cut carrot cube. It held the carrot with both paws, lowered its head, and took delicate bites. For a rabbit, it carried itself like a princess. Tobarama Senju. Are summon animals evolving to be more human-like now? Minato Namikaze. I'm not sure, but I've heard the white snake sage of Ruchi Cave can take human form. Tobarama Senju. Though shinobi are free to choose their summons, I still think they should stay normal. At that moment, the rabbit suddenly bit Kaide's left finger. Tobarama Senju. Seems like Kaide and his summon don't get along well. Tobarama Senju. A proper shinobi should fully control their summon. Tobarama Senju. Like a ninja, his Rashomon gates are completely under his command. Hashirama Senju. Tobarama, you're making it sound like the Rashomon gates are crying. Minato Namikaze. Wait, Lord first, Lord second. Quiet down for a second. Tobarama Senju. What's wrong? Tobarama Senju. No, Kaide's changing. Minato Namikaze. Yeah, he's changing. Indeed. After being bitten, Kaide felt an immense surge of chakra gathering in his eyes. He instinctively closed them. But the Hokage in the chat held their breath. Tobarama Senju. I have a bad feeling about this. Hashirama Senju. Huh. Tobarama Senju. For some reason, Kaide gives me Uchiha vibes. Hashirama Senju. Oh, Tobarama, still holding a grudge against the Uchiha. Tobarama Senju. I don't like them, but a ninja, as the second Hokage, I treated them fairly. Tobarama Senju. I just naturally distrust the Uchiha. Too many of them are born evil, like Madara. Hashirama Senju. Ah, Madara. He was Konoha's first missing nin. Minato Namikaze. Lord first, Lord second, quiet down. Tobarama Senju. What now? Holy. Tobarama gasped. Because in the video, Kaide opened his eyes. His original golden irises were now a deep crimson. Sharingan. A single tomo spun in the red eye. No. It didn't stop there. Tobarama Senju. Is this kid actually an Uchiha? He was stunned. Tobarama Senju. Whatever, just Sharingan. I've seen it all before. Then, Hashirama gasped. Hashirama Senju. No, not one tomo, it's two now. Kaide's Sharingan had evolved from one tomo to two. But then Minato also reacted. Minato Namikaze. No, not one or two tomo. It's Mangekyo now. Tobarama Senju. Evolving from one tomo straight to Mangekyo. Hashirama Senju. Seems like it's not over yet. Minato Namikaze. No, not one or two tomo. It's Mangekyo now. Tobarama Senju. Evolving from one tomo straight to Mangekyo. Hashirama Senju. Seems like it's not over yet. Because Kaide's crimson eyes faded, turning purple instead. Tobarama Senju. I've only read about this in ancient texts. The Sage of Six Paths, eyes were different from others. Tobarama Senju. Purple irises, ringed patterns, wielding extraordinary power, as if capable of overturning the cycle of rebirth, hence called the Rinnegan. Tobarama Senju. Tobarama Senju. Normal eyes right pointing arrow Sharingan right pointing arrow Rinnegan. Tobarama Senju. 3 evolutions in 10 seconds, all in one go. Tobarama Senju. Now this is a scene I've never seen before. Chapter 006. Naruto knocks on the window, delivering the forbidden scroll, please support with data. Ninja apartment. Kitahara Kaide opened his eyes. The world he perceived now had completely changed. His vision had always been sharp, both before and after his transmigration, but now his sight was unnaturally clear. It was as if. Not only that, even though he was looking straight ahead, every detail of his surroundings, above, below, left, right, front, and back, was imprinted in his mind. It was like stepping into a hyper-advanced holographic projection. What was even more astonishing was a mosquito flitting past in front of him, its wings beating rapidly. Though it moved swiftly, to Kaide's eyes, it seemed to be drifting in slow motion. So, either his perception was malfunctioning, or his eyes had changed. Kitahara Kaide. Kaide immediately turned to the side, where a large floor-length mirror stood. The mirror reflected his figure, his face, and, most strikingly, his eyes. Purple irises, encircled by concentric rings, exuding an aura of mystery and power. The Rinnegan, Kaide murmured. But why do I have it? Was this some kind of transmigrator's benefit? At that moment, the ninja rabbit that had been lying on the table suddenly stood up. Its translucent eyes fixed on Kaide's reflection in the mirror, and it seemed momentarily stunned. It was probably completely unexpected that Kaide had gone from ordinary eyes to the Rinnegan in just 3 seconds, bypassing the Sharingan and Mangekyo Sharingan entirely. Descendants and Juniors _chat group. Hashirama Senju. Something feels off about that rabbit. Minato Namikaze. Yeah. It looks really surprised. Minato Namikaze. Also, the scene we saw earlier was of that rabbit biting Kaide, right? Tobarama Senju. Yeah, I saw that too. Tobarama Senju. At the time, I thought the rabbit looked really cute. Wait, this rabbit is also suspicious. Hashirama Senju. What's suspicious? Hashirama Senju. Does the rabbit also have some kind of ocular jutsu? Hashirama Senju. Hold on. Hashirama suddenly exclaimed. Hashirama Senju. Tobirama, 4th Hokage, this rabbit, its pupils are white. Minato Namikaze. Minato Namikaze. Based on my knowledge, the only clan with white pupils is Minato Namikaze. The Hyuga clan. Minato Namikaze. Now I'm really confused. Does a rabbit have Hyuga bloodline? Hashirama Senju. Yeah, this is weird. Beep. At that moment, a new notification appeared in the center of the chat group. Congratulations, Hashirama Senju, on obtaining a new title, Big Dumb Hashirama. You can now equip the title at Hashirama Senju. Hashirama Senju. Big Dumb Hashirama. Big Dumb Hashirama. What kind of title is this? I don't want it. Tobirama Senju. Brother, quiet down. I think this title fits you perfectly. Big Dumb Hashirama. Huh. Tobirama, I know I slacked off a lot during my time as Hokage, but is this really how you see your big brother? Tobirama Senju. Tobirama Senju. Pretty much. At the first 5-cage summit, you were ready to hand out the tailed beasts for free. Tobirama Senju. If I hadn't stepped in and made them pay, things would have been even worse. Tobirama Senju. After your death, the other villages turned the tailed beasts into weapons, causing a lot of trouble for Konoha. Tobirama Senju. If it weren't for my mutually multiplying explosive tags, the village would have been destroyed long ago. Big Dumb Hashirama. How could this be? So I was betrayed by the other cage. Tobirama Senju. That's why this title suits you perfectly. Tobirama Senju. And, well, during my time as Hokage, I kept researching your wood release to control the 9 tails. Tobirama Senju. Not everyone is as monstrously strong as you, casually suppressing the 9 tails like it's nothing. Minato Namikaze. About that. Regarding the 9 tails. I actually died sealing it. Big Dumb Hashirama. Seriously. That thing can kill people. Minato Namikaze. First Hokage, you really are on another level. Minato couldn't help but praise him. Meanwhile, Tobirama pressed a hand to his forehead. Tobirama Senju. Wait, hearing all this suddenly makes me uneasy. Tobirama Senju. I entrusted the village to Hiruzen, so it should be fine, right? Tobirama's use of should suggested he wasn't entirely confident. Minato noticed this but shook his head. Minato Namikaze. Second Hokage. The 3rd Hokage is an extremely reliable leader. Minato Namikaze. It was thanks to his recommendation that I became the 4th Hokage. Minato Namikaze. He's also an excellent teacher, having trained Tsunade, Orochimaru, and Jiraiya. Minato Namikaze. I was Jiraiya Sensei's student. Minato Namikaze. And earlier, Kakashi was my student. Tobirama Senju. Oh, so the will of fire has been passed down continuously. Tobirama Senju. Little Tsunade is doing well too. Tobirama Senju. Then I can rest easy. Tobirama felt relieved. Meanwhile, Kaide's attention finally returned to the rabbit he had picked up. Could it be that my Rinnegan is because you bit me? This wasn't a baseless assumption. Hinata's Dark Hinata personality had emerged 3 years ago. And 3 years ago was also when Kaide had found this ninja rabbit. He remembered Hinata had been there at the time and had been bitten by the rabbit. After that, she had a high fever for 3 days, and the next time he saw her, she had become Dark Hinata. At the time, he had just found it strange, but now, connecting the dots, the coincidence was too strong. His current eyes might also be the result of being bitten by the rabbit. So, thud. Just then, a sound came from the apartment window. Someone was knocking on it. Bang bang bang. Minato Namikaze. Knocking on the window. Not using the front door. How rude. Tobirama Senju. So they don't like using the front door, huh? Same. Minato Namikaze. Tobirama Senju. Kaide raised his left hand and pressed it against his eye. His eyes reverted to their original golden pupils. He opened the window. Thump. A figure tumbled in, landing on the floor before springing up with a kip up. The person grinned excitedly. Kaide-kun. He pulled out a massive red sealing scroll from his back, almost as tall as he was, and slammed it onto the ground. I stole the forbidden scroll. Let's defect from Konoha together. Chapter 007. Naruto. I'm defecting. Wanna come along? Please support with data. Thud. Naruto planted the sealed scroll firmly on the ground, his declaration resounding. Though his handling of the scroll was rough, the weight of his words was undeniable. Are you sure this is the sealed scroll? Kitahara Kaide asked. Naruto answered casually. And you stole it? Yep. Naruto said. I thought it'd be dangerous, but there was no one guarding it. Quote. Kaide. Descendants and Juniors _chat group. Minato Namikaze. That doesn't sound right. Minato Namikaze. The sealed scroll is an important resource safeguarded by every Hokage. Minato Namikaze. It shouldn't be so easily stolen. Minato Namikaze. And that blonde kid, judging by how he climbed through the window and landed, his skills aren't great. Minato Namikaze. Stealing the sealed scroll should be nearly impossible for him. Tobirama Senju. So after all these years, has Hiruzen stopped valuing the sealed scroll? Big dumb Hashirama. Hey, like I said, just destroy the sealed scroll. Tobirama Senju. Destroy it. Brother, these are all the forbidden jutsu I carefully developed. Big dumb Hashirama. But they're either too dangerous or too difficult to use. Only you can master them. Minato Namikaze. Well, if that's the case, I can vouch for the second Hokage. Minato Namikaze. I learned the second's Flying Thunder God technique. Tobirama Senju. Oh. Flying Thunder God. That's a good one. Tobirama Senju. I'm quite skilled with that forbidden jutsu. I'd love to spar with you. Minato Namikaze. That's a little embarrassing. Tobirama Senju. No need. It's just practice. Minato Namikaze. But from what I know, the third Hokage still respects the second greatly, so he wouldn't let the sealed scroll fall into just anyone's hands. Minato Namikaze. The forbidden jutsu in it are hard to master, but if they were leaked, it'd be a huge threat. Minato Namikaze. So the third Hokage wouldn't let the sealed scroll be taken so easily. Big dumb Hashirama. So I still think it's better to destroy it early. Tobirama Senju. Aniki. Big dumb Hashirama. Alright. Back then, I let you write down these forbidden jutsu without saying to destroy them, hoping future generations wouldn't need to use them. Big dumb Hashirama. Sigh. Is this really the Konoha of decades later? Has my ideal truly been destroyed? Hashirama suddenly became very downcast. Minato Namikaze. Second Hokage. Tobirama Senju. Don't mind him. He's too naive, and it's caused a lot of trouble for later generations. At that moment, Tobirama and Minato heard Kaide's voice from the live feed. Naruto, you might have been tricked, Kaide said. The sealed scroll is the second Hokage's research work. It's filled with all kinds of uniquely powerful forbidden jutsu. If any of them were leaked to other villages, it'd be disastrous. So right now, it's probably the third Hokage letting you steal it on purpose. Of course I know that. Naruto said. Because I'm just a kid, and I failed today's practical exam. Then Mizuki-sensei came to comfort me, telling me there's still hope. If I steal the sealed scroll, I can retake the exam. But my first thought was that Mizuki-sensei was up to something. Because, Naruto said, no one except you, Ichiraku's owner, the third grandpa, and Iruka-sensei has ever paid attention to me. Everyone else hates me, despises me. So when Mizuki-sensei told me stealing the sealed scroll would let me pass, I knew he was lying. But I tested it out, and somehow I actually stole it. So, this is the sealed scroll. Before the third grandpa catches up and that idiot Mizuki realizes, why don't we defect to another village together? Naruto loudly conspired. Descendants and Juniors _chat group. Big dumb Hashirama. This blonde kid seems kind of pitiful. Big dumb Hashirama. From what he's saying, his life has been really tough. Minato Namikaze. Yeah, so when someone shows him kindness, he immediately suspects them. Minato Namikaze. That's definitely something he learned later. Minato Namikaze. And his name is Naruto too. Tobirama Senju. What? Does that name mean something to you? Minato Namikaze. Well, how do I put this? I died sealing the 9 tails, but at the time, I had a newborn son, and I named him Naruto. Tobirama Senju. You're sure it's Naruto? Minato Namikaze. Second Hokage, you're not suspecting this kid is my son, are you? Minato Namikaze. Well, I did name my son Naruto, but it was inspired by the protagonist of Jiraiya Sensei's best-selling book. Tobirama Senju. Oh. Then never mind. Tobirama's tone sounded very relaxed. Tobirama Senju. Since you're the 4th Hokage, your son would definitely be well trained by Hiruzen. Tobirama Senju. I'm very confident about that. Minato Namikaze. Yeah. I entrusted him to the 3rd Hokage back then. Minato Namikaze. I don't know how Naruto is doing now, but seeing this Naruto, I feel for the kid. Tobirama Senju. 4th, you're projecting. Tobirama Senju. Hiruzen made the right choice with you. You're a kind person too. Minato Namikaze. Thank you for the praise, 2nd Hokage. Tobirama Senju. But having a rough life and then trying to defect with the sealed scroll. This Naruto really isn't cut out for it. Tobirama Senju. I think Hiruzen let him steal it so easily because it's part of a plan. Tobirama Senju. One part is to catch that Mizuki guy, and the other is probably to teach this Naruto a lesson. Tobirama Senju. As I thought, I wasn't wrong about Hiruzen. He's really taken his duty of guiding the next generation seriously. Minato Namikaze. Yeah. Beep. Kakashi Hatake has come online. After much hesitation, Kakashi, who had regained consciousness in the hospital and thanked Iruka, decided he had to tell them the truth. But as soon as he logged in, he saw the 2nd Hokage and Minato Sensei's conversation. Kakashi suddenly found it hard to speak. The system unexpectedly notified the group that Kakashi had come back online. But no one noticed, because everyone was stunned by Kaide's next words. Naruto, you're smart enough to see through it. But the mantis stalks the cicada, unaware of the Oriole behind. That idiot Mizuki is already here. As he spoke, Kaide pushed Naruto behind him and stepped forward. A dozen kunai shattered the window and shot toward them. Shinra Tensei. Kaide raised his left hand. At the same time, his ninja rabbit lifted its head. Chapter 008. Kakashi shocked. The 4th Hokage encourages Naruto to defect online. Shinra Tensei. A black sphere of condensed chakra seemed to envelop Kitahara Kaide. But in the next second, when he raised his hand, both the kunai thrown by Mizuki-sensei and Mizuki himself charging forward were all sent flying away. From Mizuki's perspective, Naruto was the 9 Tails Jinchuriki but had no combat ability. As for Kaide, he was just a genin. While Mizuki was a proper chunin who had passed the chunin exams. So, this shouldn't be a problem. Mizuki had charged in holding a kunai, but when sent flying, he could no longer hold onto it. The kunai left his grasp instantly. His body and the kunai were sent flying toward the distant Hokage rock. It was like being instantly repelled. The speed was so fast that no one could react. Thud thud. Mizuki's body was embedded into the rock, completely immobilized. Since Kaide stood by the window, the people in the small chat group could see Mizuki's situation in the distance through his perspective. Big dumb Hashirama. This skill is really good. Shinra Tensei. So cool. Big dumb Hashirama. Is this the Rinnegan? Tobirama Senju. It should be the Rinnegan's power. Just now, Kaide's eyes turned purple. Minato Namikaze. The Rinnegan, huh? Tobirama Senju. Yeah. Tobirama Senju. But even the rabbit that bit Kaide earlier showed a shocked expression. Tobirama Senju. Did it not expect the Rinnegan to have this kind of manifestation? Following Tobirama's words, Everyone turned their attention to the rabbit. The rabbit still sat on the table, but its movements were very human-like. Its left paw propping up its cheek, its pure white eyes seeming confused. So strong. Naruto's eyes widened. Kaide, can you teach me? I want to get stronger too. Naruto said. You can do it too, Kaide said. Normally you just need to get along well with Sasuke. The formation of Rinnegan requires Mangekyo, Asura's chakra. Sasuke and Naruto perfectly matched this condition. So together, they could actually create the Rinnegan. What? I don't want to deal with that guy, Naruto shook his head like a rattle drum. At this stage, Naruto still couldn't stand Sasuke. He looked indignant. But he's one of the few who doesn't care about your identity, right? Kaide pointed out. Naruto. Yeah. That guy is arrogant, but he's different from ordinary students. He never chased me away. Descendants and Juniors _group. Minato Namikaze. Ah. This Naruto seems really pitiful. Big dumb Hashirama. What exactly did he do to make the whole village dislike him? Tobirama Senju. But didn't Hiruzen set up this test for him? Tobirama Senju. Hiruzen was willing to use the sealed scroll as part of the test, showing he still cares about this Naruto kid. So Naruto, are you sure you've thought this through? Kaide said. Are you sure you want to defect? Being a missing nin isn't as simple as you think. Once you leave this village, everyone from here will attack you on sight. Your name will be listed in the black market, then some strange people will come after you. If you defect to the Rain Village, it might be even worse. They specifically want to capture you. Naruto dragged out his tone. So defecting from the village is dangerous. Even possibly die. So he hadn't thought this through at all. Kaide was speechless. He thought Naruto had suddenly awakened. Kaide wanted a peaceful life, but regarding Naruto, he actually hoped Naruto would defect. But now it seemed Naruto didn't even understand what defecting meant. Moreover, Naruto had Asura's chakra inside him. What was Asura? A saintly character. So Naruto couldn't escape that saintly mindset. Like this. Then have you forgotten your own motto? Kaide said. Of course not. Naruto said. Perseverance, moving forward bravely. I must become a Hokage that surpasses all previous Hokages, and gain the recognition of everyone who looked down on me. The more they look down on me, the more I'll become a ninja, then Hokage. Stand at their summit. Naruto's actions seemed very inspiring. Minato Namikaze. This Naruto is such a good kid. Big dumb Hashirama. Yeah, from his words we can tell his treatment in the village isn't good. Big dumb Hashirama. But his inner thoughts are to make those who treated him badly recognize him. Big dumb Hashirama. This kind of motivation. Tobirama Senju. It should be the will of fire I had Hiruzen nurture. Tobirama Senju. It seems Hiruzen truly passed down the will of fire. Then go return the sealed scroll to the third Hokage, Kaide said. It was all Mizuki's deception. And then, come back after returning it. Just now when observing you, I noticed your chakra system has some issues, I'll fix them for you. Kaide said. After hastily using the Rinnegan's Shinra Tensei to repel Mizuki, his 360-degree vision noticed the abnormalities in Naruto's chakra system. So I can use ninjutsu normally. Naruto was overjoyed. His failure in the ninja exam was precisely because he couldn't use ninjutsu properly. No matter how much he trained. Pretty much, Kaide said. Got it. Naruto immediately carried the sealed scroll and jumped out the window. Kaide. Watching Naruto's retreating figure, Kaide shook his head. Muttering. As expected of Naruto, still so saintly. Infuriating how he won't change. Then he opened his notebook and wrote a line. No hope. Descendants and Juniors _chat group. Big dumb Hashirama. Why does Kaide think this Naruto kid is hopeless? Big dumb Hashirama. Didn't Naruto perform well? Big dumb Hashirama. Despite being mistreated, he still maintains a positive attitude. Big dumb Hashirama. Isn't that good? Tobirama Senju. Brother, you and this Naruto are somewhat similar. Big dumb Hashirama. Tobirama Senju. That's the feeling I get. Tobirama Senju. Let me think why Kaide would give Naruto this evaluation. Tobirama Senju. It's probably because Naruto, like you, are the type to treat others like first loves no matter how they treat you. Tobirama Senju. Although Naruto is from Konoha, this behavior is actually kind of stupid. Big dumb Hashirama. Tobirama Senju. If it were me, I'd just leave, screw you guys. You look down on me and I still have to fawn over you. Big dumb Hashirama. Minato Namikaze. Indeed, although Naruto's actions seem very uplifting. Minato Namikaze. But putting myself in his shoes, if I was constantly looked down on, even mistreated, and driven away. Minato Namikaze. I think this is unreasonable. Minato Namikaze. I sympathize with this kid's situation. So if the second Hokage says leaving the village is the right choice, I think Naruto should leave too. Kakashi Hatake. Kakashi Hatake. Minato Namikaze. Ah, Kakashi, you're here. Kakashi Hatake. Kakashi's spirit form wiped sweat from his brow. Because Minato-sensei was currently persuading his own son to defect online. Chapter 009. Wait, Naruto is my son. Minato is shocked. Please support with data. Meanwhile. Thud thud thud. A human-shaped object came crashing toward the Hokage rock. Some Anbu noticed this situation. The Hokage office building was right below the Hokage rock, so for a moment they thought it was an enemy attack. But then they saw Mizuki plastered onto the third Hokage's face on the rock. As for Minato himself, his condition was unknown. Lord Third. Mizuki was sent flying onto the Hokage rock. The Anbu quickly reported. The third Hokage Hiruzen Sarutobi stood up. Confirm it's Mizuki. Mizuki was sent flying. Hiruzen immediately rushed to the large floor-to-ceiling window. Could Naruto have learned a forbidden jutsu? No, the sealed scroll doesn't have any jutsu that can send someone flying that far. Or did something happen? What happened? At this time, the two Konoha elders Kaharu Udatane and Homura Mitokado sitting on the sofa stood up. The three of them were doing something very important today. That was setting up a test for Naruto. Hiruzen learned that Mizuki wanted to betray the village, and also discovered Mizuki tricked Naruto into stealing the sealed scroll. Finally Hiruzen decided to use this to test Naruto. Naruto was the Nine Tails Jinchuriki, extremely important to the village. So they had to ensure Naruto's loyalty, that he would never harm the village. Naruto had been taught the will of fire by the third since childhood, so Hiruzen estimated Naruto was reliable. But he also had to convince others. So his plan was to use Mizuki's scheme, let Naruto steal the sealed scroll, then have Iruka step in. Iruka was a child who lost his parents during the Nine Tails attack, but he was strong. And Hiruzen noticed Iruka treated Naruto well. So, perhaps Iruka could influence Naruto, helping him officially become a proper ninja. Naruto's treatment in the village was poor, the villagers ostracized him, but if Naruto knew someone still believed in him, then Naruto's years of pent-up frustration could all turn into motivation. And then Uzumaki Naruto could officially debut. But something went wrong halfway. Iruka had to take Kakashi to the hospital, so he couldn't meet Naruto as planned. But Naruto directly went to steal the sealed scroll. So this threw Hiruzen into confusion. As for Mizuki, they just needed people to intercept him at the village gates. Konoha only had one entrance and exit, the village gates. So guarding that would suffice. Mizuki was beaten up. But Naruto isn't here. Then Kaharu said, "Will Naruto defect?" He shouldn't, Hiruzen said firmly. Even if Iruka isn't there, he wouldn't, after all you know his identity. Yes. Kaharu nodded. Naruto was the child of the fourth Hokage. His blood carried Konoha's goodwill. Clearly they didn't know Minato was currently persuading Naruto to defect online. And at this moment, Lord Third, Uzumaki Naruto, is approaching the Hokage building carrying the sealed scroll, an Anbu reported. Phew. Hiruzen sighed in relief at this report. Kaharu and Homura also relaxed. This proved Hiruzen's strategy was correct. Naruto truly was a good child with Konoha's goodwill in his blood. Kaide's small house. Watching Naruto leave, Kaide turned to his little white rabbit. Equipping the Rinnegan didn't just give him the pinnacle of ocular jutsu. And, even his body's control abilities had become abnormally powerful. Was this a transmigrator's benefit? Or was it from being bitten by his rabbit? The ninja rabbit was also looking at him. But it seemed deep in thought. Kaide's rabbit didn't speak or make sounds, like it was mute. But was it really unable to speak? It seems we really need to have a good talk, Kaide said. This time he reached out, and the rabbit's figure shifted. But unlike before, its speed now left traces in his vision. He could catch it. His right hand extended. His fingertips felt the rabbit's soft fur. But the rabbit appeared behind him. The rabbit was even faster now. It appeared behind Kaide, then gently smoothed the fur where he had touched it. I get stronger and you get stronger too, Kaide said. Though he said that, he knew, the rabbit was fast, but within the Rinnegan's vision, he could still catch it. But he didn't. Forget it, Kaide said. I won't interrogate you further. Let's leave it at this for now. As he said this, the rabbit's highly focused mind seemed to relax slightly. Descendants and Juniors _group. Big dumb Hashirama. Why didn't Kaide keep questioning? Big dumb Hashirama. His Sharingan and Rinnegan changes are too closely related to that rabbit. Big dumb Hashirama. Also, the rabbit's eyes are Byakugan. This rabbit is clearly abnormal. Minato Namikaze. First Hokage, I actually disagree. Minato Namikaze. Since the rabbit doesn't want to be touched or communicate, but it can grant abilities. Minato Namikaze. Then why force it? Tobirama Senju. So take it slow, don't kill the goose that lays golden eggs. Minato Namikaze. That's right, second Hokage. Minato Namikaze. Both our little group and this rabbit are quite mysterious. Kakashi Hatake. Minato Namikaze. Kakashi, say something. Kakashi Hatake. Tobirama Senju. What's with this guy? Minato, Kakashi is your student right? Minato Namikaze. Yeah, Minato Namikaze. So Kakashi, what do you mean? Say something. Kakashi Hatake. Can't say it. Minato Namikaze. Minato knew Kakashi well. So, his guess might be correct. Was Kakashi silent out of guilt? At this moment, another figure crashed through Kaide's window. It was the blonde Uzumaki Naruto. Kaide, I'm back. Hurry. I want to use ninjutsu. As he spoke, Naruto started pulling off his clothes. Kaide. Naruto returned surprisingly fast. But it made sense. After all, Naruto's mind only had a few things. Work hard to become a ninja, then Hokage, and gain everyone's recognition. So, even though he kept working hard, he never got any feedback. It was driving him crazy. Now that he finally saw hope, of course he was impatient. Wait a second. You're not a girl, no need to take off clothes, Kaide stopped him. We're not doing anything weird. At this moment, Kakashi Hatake. I really can't hide it anymore. Kakashi Hatake. I'm very sorry, Minato-sensei. Kakashi Hatake. Actually this Naruto is your son. Uzumaki Naruto. Kakashi Hatake. I only found out today. Kakashi Hatake. And the third Hokage assigned me as Naruto's Jonin instructor. Everyone. Minato Namikaze. Tobirama Senju. Big dumb Hashirama. Chapter 010. Rinnegan's special effect. When the Nine Tails is sealed, Naruto loses his whiskers. Please support with data. Descendants and Juniors _group. Minato Namikaze. Kakashi, are you sure this information is accurate? Kakashi Hatake. Tobirama Senju. Kakashi, you can't just say things like that casually. Tobarama Senju. We're all deceased people here, don't make such jokes. Kakashi Hatake. Big dumb Hashirama. This Naruto is Minato's son, that Naruto. Kakashi Hatake. Kakashi Hatake. I swear on my name and my father's name, the White Fang of Konoha, that this is true. Kakashi Hatake. This Naruto is Minato Sensei's Naruto. Kakashi Hatake. And this Naruto is Minato Sensei's biological son. Minato Namikaze. Minato Namikaze. Minato Namikaze. Minato was momentarily speechless. Meanwhile, Naruto had already undergone Kaide's examination. Quote. Kaide. Kaide's eyes had transformed into the Rinnegan state, with all his perception abilities greatly enhanced. His gaze fell upon Naruto, observing him. To be precise, not just looking at him, but examining his chakra system. A ninja's chakra system is quite fascinating. The amount of chakra a ninja possesses can be increased through training. But since transmigrating here, Kaide didn't agree with this concept. Because the essence of chakra is divided, initially, the sage of 6 paths who obtained most of the chakra distributed it to others. Those who received chakra got married and had children, who also inherited chakra. This is why current ninjas can't compare to those from earlier eras. Because the amount of chakra is decreasing. But this is only relative. Because very few people truly utilize all the chakra within them. From the history of the ninja world until now, almost no one has. There are also special cases where some people naturally possess vast amounts of chakra. How is it? Is it dangerous? Or can't you do anything about it either? Naruto's words were stumbling. He noticed Kaide had activated his Rinnegan and then fell silent. This made him very anxious. The situation was like seeing a traditional Chinese medicine doctor who remains silent with a grave expression. There's nothing wrong with your body. You possess 1,000 times more chakra than an average person. If calculated, it's about equivalent to 100 elite Jonin like Kakashi. Quote. Kakashi. Kakashi Hatake. Big dumb Hashirama. But no one paid attention to them now. Because Minato had fallen into complete self-isolation, and the second Hokage was dumbfounded. As the fourth Hokage, Minato had sacrificed himself for the village and entrusted his child to Hiruzen. But the result was this Naruto, who lived a life of rejection, exclusion, bullying, and being looked down upon, was actually the fourth Hokage's son. This was how they treated the child of a Hokage. Tobarama was stunned. He noticed his spirit form's mouth opening and closing. But no words came out. Phew. Naruto nodded. As long as there's a solution, it's fine. Wait a minute. I have 1,000 times more chakra than an average person. Naruto's eyes widened. Yes. Kaide said. Your chakra reserves are enormous. And part of it comes from your bloodline. Kaide continued. You possess the Uzumaki clan's physique. The Uzumaki clan is naturally gifted with explosive chakra reserves. Quote. Naruto. Naruto was somewhat confused. My name is Uzumaki Naruto, with Uzumaki as my surname, but I'm actually from a clan. Naruto was surprised. This was the first time he'd heard of such a thing. This clan possesses exceptionally large chakra reserves. Enormous amounts. The density of their chakra is so high that it can materialize. One of their clan's exclusive techniques, adamantine sealing chains, can condense and refine the chakra within their bodies. But before that, Kaide suddenly looked at Naruto again. But he wasn't looking at Naruto, nor at his chakra system, but at the 9 tails sealed within Naruto. The surroundings became a dark world, with only a pair of purple Rinnegan eyes visible. Thud. Everyone heard the sound of a heavy door closing. Surprisingly, Naruto's body immediately underwent changes. He had 6 whisker-like markings on his face, resembling those of a cat or fox, which were quite noticeable. They even made him look less attractive. But now, my whiskers. They're gone. Naruto quickly touched his face. Big dumb Hashirama. What happened this time? Tobarama Senju. Minato Namikaze. It should be Kaide suppressing the 9 tails within Naruto. Big dumb Hashirama. The 9 tails, could it be? Minato Namikaze. Yes, first Hokage, you sealed the 9 tails into Lady Mito. Minato Namikaze. After Lady Mito passed away, the 9 tails was resealed, until my era. Minato Namikaze. The Jinchuriki was my wife Kushina. Minato Namikaze. Then a masked man attacked the village. He had the Sharingan, and the 9 tails was released. I had no choice but to use the dead demon consuming seal, sealing half of the 9 tails within the death god and the other half within Naruto. Big dumb Hashirama. Then using the dead demon consuming seal. Minato Namikaze. Yes, first Hokage, your wife was the daughter of the Uzumaki clan leader, so you know the dead demon consuming seal is actually a secret technique of the Uzumaki clan. Minato Namikaze. Although it can summon the death god, it's a 1-for-1 exchange. Minato Namikaze. My soul was also taken by the death god. Minato Namikaze. But the death god only took half of the 9 tails, so I had no choice but to seal the 9 tails into my newborn son, Uzumaki Naruto. Big dumb Hashirama. According to what you're saying, whether leaving the 9 tails in the village or that masked Sharingan user, regardless of whether it's Madara, it might be related to him. Big dumb Hashirama. These might all be unresolved issues from my era. Big dumb Hashirama. Causing trouble for future generations. Minato Namikaze. Minato didn't respond immediately this time. After a pause. Minato Namikaze. From what just happened, Kaide directly resealed the 9 tails. Minato Namikaze. Using the Rinnegan. Minato Namikaze. So, Minato Namikaze. The chakra interference from the 9 tails on Naruto's body has been eliminated. Minato Namikaze. Yes. Minato Namikaze. Why didn't I think of this before? Minato Namikaze. Although Naruto is from the Uzumaki clan, a natural Jinchuriki. Minato Namikaze. But he was still growing, so he must have been affected by the 9 tails. Minato Namikaze. That's why his appearance changed, growing the 9 tails whiskers. The moment I saw him, I should have realized. Minato Namikaze. He's my child. Minato Namikaze. I was being too idealistic. Minato Namikaze. Naruto. He's my Naruto, my son. Tobirama Senju. Can the Rinnegan really do this? Tobirama Senju. Directly sealing tailed beasts. Big dumb Hashirama. It's possible. Big dumb Hashirama. Because in the past, when Madara controlled the 9 tails, his eyes were only Mangekyo Sharingan, but Kaide's Rinnegan is an evolution beyond that. Big dumb Hashirama. So the Rinnegan's abilities might be even stronger than I imagined. While the former Hokages were having a serious discussion, Kakashi sensed an impending storm. Chapter 011. Naruto, promise me you won't get a buzz cut, please support with data. Naruto stood before Kaide's full-length mirror. He looked at his face from left to right. Then moved closer and farther away. Wow. Naruto was astonished. Kaide. I think I've become more handsome. Quote. Kaide. Kaide looked at Naruto in the mirror. Indeed. Naruto inherited the handsome genes from Minato. Without the whiskers, Naruto could indeed be considered good-looking. And this was just as a child, his grown-up appearance would be even more promising. But, Naruto. Promise me you'll never get a buzz cut. Kaide said. Naruto blinked in confusion. Of course he didn't know that in the original story, everyone was looking forward to his growth and him removing his forehead protector. But, he ended up getting a buzz cut. It was shocking. Repeat after me. I will never get a buzz cut. Kaide said. Quote. I will never get a buzz cut. Naruto repeated. Add another sentence. Konoha people don't lie to Konoha people. Kaide added. This. Say it. Konoha people don't lie to Konoha people. Naruto finished as Kaide requested. Now you can try it out. Do you still feel like you can't grasp your chakra when using it? Kaide asked. Naruto quickly attempted to form hand seals. Wow. He immediately noticed an incredible difference. Chakra. I feel like I'm filled with chakra, or rather, I've never felt such an ocean-like amount of chakra before. Naruto was amazed. All right. Kaide said. You can go find Iruka-sensei now. The practical exam is on the 3 basic jutsu. These techniques shouldn't be a problem for someone who's been working as hard as you. Kaide said. Ah, you noticed that. Naruto rubbed his head. Yeah. Even though I thought they were simple techniques, I just couldn't make them work before. But now, I feel like I can do it. Clone technique. Naruto immediately formed the hand seals. The graduation exam consisted of 2 parts, a written test and a demonstration of the 3 basic jutsu, which were fundamental for any ninja. But despite being such basic techniques, no matter how hard Naruto tried, he couldn't perform them properly. Iruka-sensei's exam requirement was to use the clone technique combined with the transformation technique. It seemed somewhat difficult. But, clone technique. Poof. 6 identical Irukas appeared in Kaide's room. Big dumb Hashirama. Quite interesting. Big dumb Hashirama. With the 9 tails interference removed, this is his true capability. Big dumb Hashirama. Although it's just the clone technique, being able to create 6 clones is quite impressive. Tobarama Senju. Yes. Tobarama Senju. Even I can only create 6 shadow clones. Minato Namikaze. Minato sighed. Minato Namikaze. I have a headache now. Minato Namikaze. Originally, I sealed the 9 tails in Naruto for the village's sake. Minato Namikaze. Because without a Jinchuriki, the 9 tails would continue its rampage. Minato Namikaze. But, not only was Naruto not treated well. I didn't even expect good treatment, but not like this. Minato Namikaze. In the entire village, you can't even find 5 people who are kind to Naruto. Minato Namikaze. I died for the village. Minato Namikaze. But, is this how the village treats my child? Minato Namikaze. I can't accept this. Kakashi Hatake. Kakashi was also silent. Minato Namikaze. Kakashi, I have a favor to ask of you. Kakashi Hatake. Minato-sensei, whatever it is, I'll do it even if it costs me my life. Minato Namikaze. No need to be so dramatic. Minato Namikaze. Kakashi, I want you to help me find the 3rd Hokage. Minato Namikaze. Then ask him why he arranged things like this for my child. Minato Namikaze. Why did my Naruto have to suffer like this? Minato Namikaze. I want an explanation. Kakashi Hatake. Kakashi was silent. He could tell. First, Minato-sensei had always referred to the 3rd as Lord 3rd, but now he simply called him the 3rd Hokage. This showed Minato-sensei's anger. And demanding an explanation, if the 3rd couldn't provide one, then what Minato-sensei could or wanted to do was unpredictable. Just like when he first logged in and saw Minato-sensei, who didn't know Naruto's identity at the time, also considering persuading Naruto to defect. Then, now that he knew Naruto's identity. So, if the 3rd couldn't provide an explanation, Minato-sensei might genuinely consider having Naruto defect. Kakashi Hatake. Understood. Tobarama Senju. Tobarama Senju. So we've come back to this topic after all. Tobarama Senju at Kakashi Hatake. Go ahead and ask, I authorize this. Tobarama Senju. If Hiruzen can't answer, then he should retire. Kakashi Hatake. Kakashi took a deep breath. This was equivalent to saying that if the 2nd Hokage were to intervene, he would directly remove the 3rd from his position. Beep. At this moment, everyone heard a system notification. Today's 3-hour live broadcast of Kitahara Kaide is about to end. Chat function will also close soon. Please return tomorrow on time. Beep. Did this mean they would return to their original places? Minato Namikaze. Kakashi, I'll wait for your news tomorrow. Kakashi Hatake. Understood. With Kakashi's voice, everyone's vision returned to darkness. Chapter 012. Hinata finally receives main family treatment. What is Hiyashi thinking? Please support with data. The next morning. When the morning light streamed through the curtainless window onto his body, Kitahara Kaide opened his eyes. As usual, he glanced toward the window. Normally, his pet rabbit would be there. It would sit on the small blanket, sometimes even pulling the short blanket over itself while gazing at the moon. After all, the window was the only place where one could look up and see the moon. His rabbit's sole hobby was to sit quietly as a rabbit and stare for an entire night. Now, the rabbit remained in its original position, maintaining a posture as if petrified by some technique. I'm heading to the Ninja Academy. Kaide stretched lazily. He noticed that when he spoke, this usually aloof rabbit actually turned to look at him. But, according to tradition, we'll be assigned to 3-person teams. 3-person squads. With a Jonin instructor. Kaide said. If you're interested, I could bring you along. Seems you're not interested. As he spoke, he noticed the rabbit had completely turned its body away, showing him its back. An extremely indifferent demeanor. The solitary ninja rabbit remained as unaffectionate as ever today. But thinking the rabbit was behaving normally would be too naive. After sending Naruto away last night, Naruto had gone to find Iruka, excitedly showing off the forehead protector he obtained after passing the makeup exam, and then making a fuss for half the night before returning to the apartment. Kaide had gone to bed relatively late. Despite everything that had happened, his rabbit maintained its usual habits. It didn't sleep but would gaze at the moon, seemingly lost in its own thoughts. But there was a change. This night, instead of continuing to watch the moon, it watched him. So he was under surveillance by the rabbit for half the night. Without even blinking. Like a tailed beast, not needing sleep was really convenient. Alright, I'm heading out. Kaide had finished his morning routine. As a man suited for domestic life, he made himself breakfast in the morning. The life he wanted was leisurely and unhurried, so he wouldn't shortchange himself. But when he reached the first floor, he turned to look at his apartment window. He directly met the pure white eyes of the ninja rabbit. This was essentially catching the rabbit in the act of watching him. Yet even when discovered, the rabbit remained utterly indifferent. As if devoid of emotion. Domesticated pets are always so emotionless. How should I train this? Kaide walked toward the Ninja Academy but turned around at a corner. The reason was a black-haired, white-eyed girl in a blue coat crouching in the corner. Kaide looked at her. So sleepy. The girl seemed bleary-eyed. No. Why do I feel Kaide is here? Is this a genjutsu? Daring to use genjutsu on a Hyuga. How could I fall for such a technique? Then let me hug you tilde asterisk caret caret asterisk tilde. The girl immediately tried to pounce. Quote. Kaide remained unmoved, calmly watching her. Still so cold. Black Hinata gave up pretending and honestly stood up. Why do you ignore me every time? Is the silent treatment really that fun? So, what happened that you're waiting for me at this intersection? Kaide said. He knew if he didn't interrupt, she might talk for half an hour. Seems you already know. I'm not allowed to join a team. Black Hinata said gloomily. According to Hyuga tradition, main family members don't need to join ninja squads. Instead, we receive direct instruction from the main family. Father himself will teach me the Hyuga clan's knowledge. This means I can't leave home freely anymore. Which means I can't be assigned to the same team as you. Black Hinata said indignantly. It's practically robbing me of my few happy moments. Quote. Kaide. This complaint and worry didn't exist in the original story. In the original, Hinata, though the main family's young lady, wasn't recognized by Hiyashi and was thus assigned to a regular ninja team like any branch family member. Then casually trained. But now Hiyashi was personally instructing her. Hinata's path had completely diverged from the original. But this also showed Hiyashi truly regarded Black Hinata as his successor. This is actually good. Kaide said. Learn more about the Hyuga clan. This isn't right. But Black Hinata shook her head. Genin teams always have 2 boys and 1 girl. So, your teammates will definitely include another girl. Is it Sakura? Or Ino? Darn it. That big four-headed Sakura is so fickle. She claims to like Sasuke, but everyone knows she just likes handsome guys. Give her daily interaction opportunities. She'll definitely fall for you. And that Ino, whenever you go buy flowers, she always dresses up so prettily. Black Hinata seemed quite indignant. Enough. Kaide pressed a hand on her head. This is just standard ninja team assignment. Gaining experience through teamwork, Kaide said. It's village tradition. Don't randomly criticize others. And I'm not actually that popular with girls. Kaide told a white lie. Quote. Black Hinata. You really think so? Kaide nodded. See, even with this forehead protector I look ugly. The Konoha forehead protector's ability to suppress attractiveness was well documented by numerous male ninjas. Oh. Then it's fine. Black Hinata nodded in relief. She knew she couldn't stop Kaide from joining a ninja team, but fortunately he was still a blockhead. So even if there were girls on his team, it wouldn't matter. Quote. Kaide was speechless. If it were Naruto, he might not understand, but Kaide did. He'd already received over 200 love letters. But, given their current young age, nothing could be done. He could only cast a wide net now and see how the letter writers looked in the future. But since Hinata had become aware of this, he'd need to be more careful when receiving love letters next time. Chapter 013. Sasuke in Naruto's iconic scene. Minato, your son is bold, please support. Because she couldn't join a ninja squad, Kuro Hinata had no choice but to return home early. She had sneaked out today. Her father had ordered her to be present by 9 p.m. But Kitahara Kaide shook his head. Hiashi undoubtedly knew everything. He probably also knew that if he didn't let Kuro Hinata leave, she would never agree to training. She was still too naive after all. Ninja Academy. Kaide's batch was the 145th generation of students. Founded by the second Hokage, the academy had since supplied the village with a massive number of corpses. During the Second's era, the First Great Ninja War began. Thus, while the academy was originally established to nurture talent, it quickly became an assembly line for cannon fodder. Countless genin were sent to the battlefield. And what were genin? Those who would die instantly if they stepped on an explosive tag. Of the over 16,000 ninja remains in Konoha's back mountain, half were children who fought in the ninja wars. The first Hokage's vision for Konoha was to end wars, allowing children to grow up normally without going to battlefields, while ninja from all villages helped each other, achieving lasting peace. Yet reality completely overturned and twisted that ideal. Compounded by the Third's incompetence in utilizing the Hyuga and Uchiha clans, Konoha had been in decline. Of the current 13,000 villagers, fewer than 3,000 were ninja. But this situation would soon end. Because the golden generation had arrived. 9 of the future Konoha 12 were already gathered. Sasuke, Naruto, Sakura, Shikamaru, Choji, Ino, Hinata, Hiba, Shino. Hinata wasn't present. Honestly, looking at it this way, Sakura was impressive. Among the other 9, every single one came from a clan, ultimately mastering their clan's techniques or Kekkei Genkai. She had nothing. Yet her academic skills and chakra control were innate talents. After all, a true idiot couldn't master the Byakugo no Jutsu, which even Shizune failed to learn, or solve the brutally difficult written exam during the Chunin exams. Of course, that was the original story. In reality, Kaide knew Sakura's academic abilities were solid, sometimes even borrowing the same advanced materials as Hinata in the library. Damn it! Stupid Ino. Sakura was arguing with Ino. They'd been close as kids but grew to resent each other. Look, I bumped into someone because of you. Ino pig. Sakura snapped. Forehead girl. Ino retorted. Sakura didn't continue the argument, instead turning to Kaide, whom she'd collided with. Kitahara-kun, sorry. Really, really sorry. I just found out we'll be split into 3-person teams, so I panicked, Sakura explained. You're the same Sakura from the original story, the one who wins, she becomes Hokage's wife, loses, she marries Sakura. Can't you show a little more confidence? You'll be assigned to a good team, Kaide said. Really? Sakura perked up. Still a top student fresh out of the academy, she'd mastered the 3 basic techniques and aced theory exams. Unscathed by real ninja life, she believed she was actually quite capable. So even in a 3-person team, her teammates shouldn't be bad. Yes, Kaide confirmed. Sakura's thought process differed from his, but with Sasuke and Naruto as teammates, it was a solid lineup. Speaking of Naruto. Before Iruka arrived, Naruto's appearance shocked everyone. Because, Naruto, didn't you fail? And, is that really you? This can't be you. Since when are you this cool? Hey. Of course it's me, the real deal. With his Uzumaki clan's chakra system restored, Naruto shut them down effortlessly. Bam. 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 10 consecutive clones. Naruto had created 10 Iruka replicas, combining clone and transformation techniques. The graduation exam only required 1 Iruka clone, but Naruto just whipped out 10. 10. Whoa. Naruto, what did you eat? This is insane. Shikamaru nearly stood up. TCH. Sasuke glared, displeased. Cold and aloof, Sasuke attracted girls with his looks but couldn't care less. His heart held only one thing: vengeance for his clan's massacre. No interest in women. He aimed to restore the Uchiha through sheer strength, a naive goal, unaware of alternative methods. Yet he'd always sensed something familiar in Naruto. The aura of an orphan. He'd also seen Naruto training relentlessly, but with no talent. To Sasuke, a dead last like Naruto should just quit being a ninja. Talent was innate. But Naruto's display just shattered that image. Sasuke felt envy. His own progress had stalled. How can I get stronger if I don't improve? Then, Uchiha Sasuke. Naruto leapt onto Sasuke's desk, squatting like a duck and staring straight into his face. Sasuke. He was used to being stared at by girls. But Naruto's gaze. While he found girls annoying, Naruto's intense focus irritated him more. Kitahara-kun said I should get along with you. Being with you helps me improve, Naruto said. But you're so damn stuck up. Sasuke. Sasuke immediately shot a look at Kaide. Kitahara Kaide. He had said that, but he hadn't expected Naruto to blurt it out now. Just then, the student in front, amused by Naruto's words, turned around, elbowing him accidentally. Naruto, already unbalanced in his duck squat, lurched forward. Sasuke's eyes widened. Their faces were now 0 distance apart. Beep. The system chimed. Daily _, Descendants chat group activated. 3-hour livestream starting now. At Kakashi, at Hashirama, at Tobirama, at Minato. Descendants chat group _. Big dumb Hashirama. Finally. I've been waiting. Big dumb Hashirama. The Pure Land's just a drafty single-room shack. Big dumb Hashirama. Worst retirement ever. Tobirama. I'm here too. Minato at Kakashi. Any updates from the third? Minato pressed. He hadn't forgotten how his son was treated. Unacceptable. Big dumb Hashirama at Minato. Wait. Big dumb Hashirama. This livestream looks off. Minato. Before Minato could react, the stream showed the academy scene, Naruto kissing Sasuke. Kakashi. Big dumb Hashirama. Gotta say, Minato, your kid's bold. Big dumb Hashirama. I know Uchiha are pretty, but this is, Minato. What the? Chapter 014. Team 7 Who's the real heroine here? Sasuke. Please support. The air seemed to freeze. Everyone might be surprised by how Naruto suddenly looked more handsome without his whisker marks, or how astonishing it was that his shadow clone jutsu worked and even produced 10 Iruka senseis. But none of that compared to the shock now. Sasuke was from the Uchiha clan, known as the handsome Uchiha, and was very popular. The boys simply thought Sasuke was strong. He was the top student in the class, always ranking first no matter what subject or practical skill. As for the girls, Sasuke was a good-looking guy, so of course they paid attention to him. But Sasuke was cold and unapproachable, always brushing them off with a, "so annoying." So, even though the girls were constantly rejected, they were still curious, who would eventually tame this aloof Sasuke. And then, they witnessed Sasuke and Naruto sharing their first kiss. To be exact, Naruto and Sasuke kissed. Ah! Even the person who had turned and pushed Naruto was dumbfounded. "Naruto, what are you doing?" Sasuke's first kiss was with Naruto. The classroom instantly descended into chaos. "Ah! I need to rinse my mouth." Naruto and Sasuke also reacted intensely. Kitahara Kaide. This was truly something. During his days as Sasuke and Naruto's classmate, Kitahara Kaide had always been curious whether these two would still form a bond like in the original story. And now, looks like nothing had changed at all. Amid the commotion, their class's supervising Chunin, Iruka-sensei, arrived. "Everyone quiet down. What the? Naruto, what did you do this time? I let it slide when you defaced the fourth Hokage's stone face, but this..." Iruka was also shocked. Naruto had come to him last night to make up a test and showed his natural talent. He was genuinely happy for Naruto, thinking he was finally growing. But now this scene, he was still a teacher after all. What hadn't he seen before? What hadn't he experienced? Okay, fine. This scene really was a first. Descendant chat group, _. Big dumb Hashirama. This is amazing. Minato, your son is quite energetic. Namikaze Minato. Yeah. Minato's spirit scratched his head. He was also very shocked to see Naruto kissing Sasuke. But he was a rational man. Namikaze Minato. But this was just an accident. Namikaze Minato. Also, Minato was thinking about what Iruka said earlier, about Naruto vandalizing his stone face. Was that an indirect expression of his discontent with the village? And could it be that Naruto already knew he was his son? Namikaze Minato, at Kakashi, are you there? Kakashi. Yeah, Kakashi. I got an explanation. Kakashi. But whether or not it's acceptable, I'm not sure. Kakashi's tone didn't sound promising. Which meant that even Kakashi wasn't convinced by the explanation the third Hokage gave. Kakashi. Here's what happened. Last night I went to see the third Hokage and asked about Naruto. Kakashi. He said this. When the Nine Tails attacked the village, the losses were severe. Most of the Chunin and Junin, including the fourth, were lost. Kakashi, this was a huge blow to the village. There were two pressing threats. 1. The village was left vulnerable, so to deter other ninja villages, they had to make it known that the Nine Tails Jinchuriki existed. Kakashi 2. He didn't tell people Naruto was the fourth's child because there were many enemies from Minato's past. Revealing Naruto's identity could make him a target for revenge. Kakashi, the third Hokage, said he would tell Naruto the truth when the time was right. Namikaze Minato. Senju Tobirama. That's it. The one who responded this time was Senju Tobirama. Senju Tobirama. That's the explanation Hiruzen gave. Kakashi. Yes. Namikaze Minato. Tobirama was speechless. Senju Tobirama. Minato, what do you think? Namikaze Minato. I don't know right now. Meaning, Minato thought the third's reasoning had some logic to it, but he couldn't accept it. Of course he couldn't accept it. Minato had fulfilled his duties as Hokage completely. But after his death, his child wasn't properly cared for. Instead, Naruto was treated like a tool. Even his most basic living needs weren't met. As Hokage, Minato fulfilled his duty. But as a father, he couldn't accept this. Senju Tobirama. If there's an opportunity, I'll have Hiruzen explain this to you himself. Namikaze Minato. Let's put it on hold for now. He said this because he could see that Naruto's current state was relatively positive. With the Uzumaki clan's chakra system restored, Naruto was motivated and aiming for his dream. Minato wanted to support him. Senju Tobirama. Then I'll note this for now. Also, at Kakashi. Tobirama's tone subtly changed. Hashirama noticed it immediately. But he said nothing. Tobirama's spirit continued. Senju Tobirama. Let me ask directly, Kakashi, is Konoha in a really bad state right now? Kakashi. Big dumb Hashirama. Kakashi. We're currently in a time of peace after the Third Great Ninja War. Kakashi. But the number of active, registered shinobi in Konoha is less than 3,000. That was the polished version. In truth, it meant Konoha was in terrible shape. Senju Tobirama. Tobirama went silent. Senju Tobirama. At Kakashi, I have a favor to ask. Kakashi. Go ahead. Senju Tobirama. Today is the day Junin are assigned to new graduates, right? You've been assigned Uchiha Sasuke and Naruto. Senju Tobirama. But for the third member, I want you to choose Kitahara Kaide. Kakashi was cut off. Because over on Iruka's side, he had already begun reading the final group assignments. From today onward, you are officially graduates of the Ninja Academy. You are now real ninjas. You have your own registration numbers. You are part of Konoha. However, what you've learned in school is only theoretical knowledge. You now need real-world practice, guided by your new teachers. Each team will consist of 3 students, led by one Junin who will teach you how to become truly qualified ninjas. Even though the ninja world is at peace now, don't forget that your future is to become proud, worthy shinobi. Iruka said. Now, I'll read the team assignments. Team 10. Nara Shikamaru, Akamichi Choji, Yamanaka Ino. Instructor. Junin Sarutobi Asuma. Team 9. Ayakoji Sero, Oriki Hautaro, Yukinoshita Yukino. Instructor. Junin Shiranui Genma. Team 8. Haruno Sakura, Inazuka Kiba, Aburame Shino. Instructor. Junin Yuahi Kuranai. Hearing that assignment, Kitahara Kaide let out a sound. What is it? Do you have a problem, Kitahara? Iruka looked over, also finding it strange. Quote. Kitahara Kaide sat back down. Because Haruno Sakura, traditionally the fixed female lead of Team 7, had been assigned to Team 8. Could it be because Hinata wasn't present, so Sakura was placed there instead? But if that's the case, and each team still follows the 2-boy 1-girl structure, then who's the female lead sandwiched between Sasuke and Naruto this time? Iruka's expression changed slightly, but he continued reading. Team 7. Uchiha Sasuke, Uzumaki Naruto, Kitahara Kaide. Instructor. Junin Hitaki Kakashi. Senju Tobirama. Looks like I didn't need to interfere after all. Kakashi. Yeah, because I already chose Naruto, Sasuke, and Kitahara Kaide from the beginning. Chapter 015. The Who's Got It Worse? Competition of Team 7, seeking support. The time was 10:20 in the morning. Kitahara Kaide, Sasuke, and Naruto were waiting in the classroom for Team 7's Jonin instructor, Kakashi, to arrive. The door opened, and Kakashi stepped inside. Sasuke, Naruto, and Kitahara Kaide looked at him. Kakashi was a tall, slightly thin man with silver-white hair. His visible left eye looked sharp, but he gave off a lazy vibe. Most of his face was hidden behind a mask, and his Konoha headband was worn slanted to cover his other eye. He gave off a mysterious aura. But, why is he covering his face? Did he get injured? Is it disfigured or something? Naruto said. Not necessarily. That face is probably handsome, said Kitahara Kaide. Probably the most handsome among the young male ninja in the village. What? Naruto was shocked. Having just shed his label as the ugly guy, Naruto now cared a lot about appearances. However, Sasuke Uchiha isn't here yet? Kakashi asked. Kakashi never cared whether he looked good or not. He hadn't even looked at his own face in ages. He even bathed while wearing his mask. Oh. Naruto said with disinterest. That guy's still brushing his teeth. Kakashi. Well. For the handsome Uchiha, even as a kid, having his first kiss stolen really was a lot to handle. If it were him, and his first kiss was stolen by Guy. Just thinking about it made Kakashi feel like collapsing. Too horrifying. I'm here. Just as he said that, Sasuke finally returned. He wore a cold, withdrawn expression. Well then, I'm Hatake Kakashi, Konoha's elite jonin, specializing in taijutsu. But my chakra reserves aren't very high. I can only use Chidori about 4 times a day. As your instructor, you can call me Kakashi-sensei. Or just Kakashi. Don't judge me based on looks. I've completed 33 S rank missions, 233 A rank, and 344 B rank missions. Only talk back to me once you've reached my level, Kakashi added. This task list, showing off his true strength, shut Sasuke right up just as he was about to question him. As a top student from the Uchiha clan, Sasuke knew what that meant. Iruka had explained the mission rank system in class. S-rank missions often involved participating in the Shinobi World Wars. To have completed so many missions meant Kakashi was undeniably powerful. Kitahara Kaide's expression also changed slightly. It looked a bit like distaste and a hint of regret. Big dummy Hashirama. What's that expression, Kitahara-kun? Big dummy Hashirama. Is it because Kakashi's done too many missions? Tobirama. Or because he hasn't done enough? Nope. Neither. In that moment, Kitahara Kaide did feel a bit of regret. Because he had imagined a slower-paced, more relaxed life. But Kakashi was clearly a full-on workaholic. Normal C or B rank missions take about a week. A- rank takes 2 to 3 weeks. S rank takes 1 to 3 months. And Kakashi had done so many missions. That meant for almost 20 years of his 28-year life, he had been doing missions non-stop. Which means, this teacher is way too hardcore. Kaide didn't object to being in a team with Sasuke and Naruto. But if it meant turning into someone as hardcore as Kakashi, then that was far from relaxing. Kakashi continued. Originally, I was going to give you another test. But I've changed that. It's now more about getting to know you. Give a self-introduction. It'll help me understand you better for future training, Kakashi said. He was being smart about it. Normally, even after being assigned to his team, if a student didn't pass the bell test, Kakashi would eliminate them. Those students would be sent back to Iruka and have to repeat the academy. Fail 3 years in a row, and you lose the chance to become a ninja. But that process didn't apply anymore. Because Naruto was the 4th Hokage's son. Kakashi had once protected Naruto's pregnant mother, so his true mission now was to protect Naruto. There's no way they'd just let Naruto go. As for Sasuke, he was the clanmate of Obito. The 3rd Hokage had ordered that someone help resolve Sasuke's hatred. So they couldn't give up on him either. As for Kitahara Kaide, they even made a chat group around him. And from how he instantly suppressed the 9 tails and gave Naruto back his freedom, he was clearly a powerhouse. Maybe not a suck-up, but definitely someone very safe to keep close. Like, if Naruto lost control of the 9 tails, he definitely couldn't handle it. But Kitahara Kaide could. So, even if Tobirama hadn't requested it, Kakashi would have picked him too. So wasn't it obvious? No need for a test. All 3 of them were exempt. Although he didn't like how high effort this sounded, he still followed the rules. Kitahara Kaide. War orphan. Currently living with a rabbit. Goal. Hoping my rabbit will treat me more gently. Quote. Naruto. Quote ? Is that how you're supposed to introduce yourself? Then I'll go. I'm Uzumaki Naruto. Orphan. My goal is to become Hokage. Stronger than any previous Hokage. Quote. Sasuke. I'm Uchiha Sasuke. Ellipsis. Orphan. My goal is to become strong. Stronger and stronger. Then find Uchiha Itachi, and get revenge. Quote. Kakashi. Kakashi suddenly felt like cursing. Because. What kind of team was this? He himself was also an orphan. Chapter 016. The mission to the Land of Waves begins, seeking support. Because he unintentionally revealed his Liver Emperor level mission record, Kakashi, unlike in the original story, still earned everyone's respect. After all, S-rank missions are something fresh genin won't even see for at least 10 years after graduating. From Iruka's classroom lessons, the mission ranks go. S rank, A rank, B rank, C rank, and D rank. A-rank missions can pay anywhere from several 100,000 ryo to over 1 million. S-rank missions. They start at several million ryo. And Kakashi-sensei was a mission-grinding maniac. Judging by his clothes, he didn't seem like the type to spend much money, probably just quietly saving it all up. So, not only was Kakashi strong, he was probably rich too. And honestly, no one ever disliked having a rich jonin leader. Even Sasuke had started calling him Kakashi-sensei, respectfully. Hey, Kaide, that Uchiha Sasuke guy is super cold. Super arrogant too. Naruto was clearly unhappy with this new team setup. He'd learned from Kitahara Kaide before that if he wanted eyes like his, he had to build a good relationship with Sasuke. But, after today's experiences, he seriously regretted that. Sasuke was way too aloof. Quote. Kitahara Kaide. Right now, Kaide was deep in thought. In a typical three-man cell, it's usually 2 boys and 1 girl. Probably to create some competition, guys always want to show off in front of girls. But, something felt off about this team. Because all 3 of them were boys. Or maybe, one of them was actually really good at playing female roles. Was it Naruto? It did kind of make sense. Back when Naruto's chakra control was still a mess, his clone technique never worked. But he still somehow developed the sexy jutsu. Naruto did it perfectly. Looking at it that way, Naruto really did have some natural talent for female characters. And Sasuke. His personality was cold, he carried a tragic past, and yet he worked hard. And if you managed to break through to his heart, he'd only have eyes for you. That kind of dark heroine type was super popular too. Come to think of it, why am I even in this team? Kaide walked straight up to Kakashi and asked. Kakashi raised his left hand and rested his chin on it. I had my reasons, Kakashi said. I won't hide it from you. Naruto and Sasuke's backgrounds are complicated. And among the people Naruto gets along with, aside from the little moment he had with Sasuke just now, you're basically the only one. You treat Naruto equally. That alone isn't easy, Kakashi added. Kitahara Kaide. So basically, Kakashi had been spying from the corner of the classroom, saw the way Naruto and Sasuke got along for a moment, and remembered Kaide had always treated Naruto fairly. But that's not the main reason, is it? Kaide asked. Of course not. That's just part of it. Kakashi continued. First of all, Kaide, you're not normal. This is my first time leading a team. And I gave careful thought to my students. I went through all the students' exam papers, their homework, and so on. Kakashi said. I'm an analysis-type ninja, so I like to look at every angle. And after my investigation, I found out that you're actually a genius, aren't you? Not because your homework was flawless. No, in fact, you never took notes during class, and your homework was all nonsense, and you only turned it in when Iruka wasn't checking. That means you figured out Iruka's entire schedule. And most importantly, your graduation exam. You pulled off the clone technique perfectly on the first try, and got an exemption from the exam. Your written exam. You controlled your score. Put all of that together, and it's clear, you're a genius, Kakashi concluded. As that's so. From the corner of the room, Sasuke suddenly spoke. So that means, I wasn't actually top of the class. Someone outshone even an Uchiha. Kakashi. He had no response. Because of Obito and Itachi, Kakashi had planned to look after Sasuke. And the third Hokage had specifically asked Kakashi to help dissolve the hatred in Sasuke's heart. But still, wasn't Sasuke being a bit too full of himself? He is indeed a genius, Kakashi said, wiping his forehead. How could he not be? Let's not even compare with Sasuke's side. His whole clan was wiped out, and he only awakened a single Tomo Sharingan. Meanwhile, Kaide. He'd shown the transition from single Tomo all the way to the Rinnegan, just yesterday. So Sasuke, just stop comparing yourself. You won't win. Thinking that, Kakashi rubbed his temples. Looks like you're all quite proud of yourselves. Time to open your eyes a little. Kakashi said, normally, fresh graduates like you would just chase cats or track down lazy authors. Stuff like D-rank missions. Right as I was leaving the third Hokage's office, I bumped into someone requesting a C-rank mission. So we get to take on a C-rank mission already. And we get experience and a reward. Naruto shouted, thrilled. Finally, I get to earn some money, he said happily. But then, Future Generations Junior Chat Group _. Minato Namikaze. Sob. My dear Naruto. Minato Namikaze. He must have been short on living expenses, and just dreamed of earning money on his own. Kakashi. Kakashi. I can't defend this one. The third Hokage had made Naruto's status as a Jinchuriki public, but kept his heritage as the fourth Hokage's son secret, maybe to protect him, maybe to keep the village alert. However, the fact that the Hokage allowed villagers to shun Naruto, and even docked his allowance. That was indefensible. You can, Kakashi said. You'll all be paid. And once we finish this mission, I'll buy each of you 3 new outfits. Really? Sasuke asked. Then I want to trade my reward for explosive tags. Buy explosive tags. You don't have money to buy them. Well, for genin, they're expensive, 2,000 to 4,000 ryo apiece. But for a chunin or someone like Kakashi, no problem. Still, Kakashi hadn't expected Sasuke to be broke. Kakashi. So Sasuke's money had been cut off too. The Uchiha clan was wiped out, so in theory, all their inheritance should have gone to Sasuke. But clearly, he hadn't received it. Then, Kitahara Kaide said, "What's our C-rank mission?" "The Land of Waves mission," Kakashi replied. Chapter 017. Sasuke, please stop showing off. It's dangerous for you, please support. Land of Waves mission. The mission was issued by the bridge building master Tazuna from the Land of Waves. His request was for Konoha ninjas to escort him back to the Land of Waves as bodyguards. The mission was rated as C-rank. C-rank missions were limited to providing ninja escorts without engaging in combat, only dealing with wild animals along the way. Although called a country, the Land of Waves is essentially just a small fishing village. That village has no ninjas. But it has abundant marine products. They should have sufficient funds to hire bodyguards. On the way to the Land of Waves, Sasuke analyzed the situation. As the top student in his class and a member of the Uchiha clan, he had always been popular and talented. So, after Kakashi revealed that the seemingly average performing Kitahara was actually the real top student, Sasuke felt a surge of competitiveness. Now, with Kakashi accepting the mission to escort Tazuna to the Land of Waves, he asked everyone for their analysis of the mission. Oh. Naruto knew nothing about this, or rather. Sasuke, how do you know so much about the Land of Waves? Naruto seemed curious. Sasuke. Didn't you pay attention in class? Our curriculum includes information about other ninja villages. But for the Land of Waves, it falls under extracurricular reading. Sasuke said. Extracurricular reading. That had nothing to do with Naruto. After all, most of his time was spent on futile efforts. He wanted to learn ninjutsu, but failed repeatedly, then kept trying. So he had no extra time for reading. Kakashi nodded. Sasuke's knowledge is quite good. Kakashi adjusted his forehead protector covering his left eye. Kitahara-kun, it's your turn to analyze. Kakashi said. Quote. Kitahara Kaide. All right. Kitahara Kaide said, according to extracurricular books, the Land of Waves indeed has no ninjas, or at least didn't in the past. The update frequency of books doesn't match real-life situations. For example, in the past, merchants from the Land of Waves didn't hire escorts when coming to Konoha. As a bridge-building master, Tazuna could certainly afford attendants. Finally, the fact that the bridge-building master of the Land of Waves is being hunted won't appear in any books. I suppose Kakashi-sensei must have already noticed Tazuna-san was lying and deliberately chose this mission. Kitahara Kaide said. After all, Kakashi-sensei is a mission-grinding machine. He should know bits of information about everything. Ahem, Kakashi felt this mission-grinding machine wasn't exactly a compliment. But he did know a lot of information. Before being assigned as a Jonin instructor, his job was in Anbu. And not just ordinary Anbu, he was an Anbu captain. All sorts of minor intelligence reports would go through him before being submitted. He had indeed received some information about the Land of Waves. For example, merchants from the Land of Waves had maintained stable trade relations with Konoha. But in the past 6 months, this had completely stopped. This was clearly abnormal intelligence. So when Tazuna appeared looking impoverished, it was obvious he was in trouble. Kakashi wanted to give new genin like Naruto and Sasuke some field experience. The more trouble they encountered, the more experience they'd gain. But all this had probably been seen through by Kitahara Kaide. Kakashi at Minato-sensei, I'm feeling pressured. Kakashi. I'm not so much teaching Kitahara as Kakashi. It feels more like he's instructing me. Big dumb Hashirama. Well, isn't it good for Konoha to have someone capable of shouldering great responsibilities? Tobarama. Brother, you're phrasing. Big dumb Hashirama. Tobarama, you're feeling down, aren't you? Big dumb Hashirama. I know, Kakashi didn't explain everything, but you've already guessed. Big dumb Hashirama. After Sarutobi became the third Hokage, the village hasn't developed well. Big dumb Hashirama. So you're blaming yourself. Big dumb Hashirama. But dwelling on the past is useless. Big dumb Hashirama. Like with Minato's son Naruto, if we were alive, we'd never accept how Sarutobi handled it. Big dumb Hashirama. But, big dumb Hashirama. The reality is we're already dead. Big dumb Hashirama. So, big dumb Hashirama. We're just relics now, powerless to do anything. The only thing we can do is place our hopes on the younger generation. Tobarama. Aniki, you mean, big dumb Hashirama. My past was a failure, leaving problems for you all. Big dumb Hashirama. But, big dumb Hashirama. I want to trust the younger generation one last time. Tobarama. So, finding every opportunity to make amends. Big dumb Hashirama. That's about right. Big dumb Hashirama. Being a Hokage like this is quite embarrassing. Tobarama. The second Hokage was silent for a moment. Tobarama. Understood. Tobarama. I'll pull myself together. Tobarama. No matter what happens, as long as I can still be of use to the village, I'll do my best. Tobarama. Minato. Tobarama. If there's a chance, I'll make it up to you. Minato. About Naruto, I can't accept it. But I was also Hokage. Or rather, I was quite selfish too. Minato. When the Nine Tails attacked the village, I used the dead demon consuming seal and sacrificed my life. But before that, my wife was already dying. Minato. Meaning I might have had to raise Naruto alone. But I had no confidence, couldn't imagine a world without Kushina. Minato. So, I was cowardly. Minato. The one who failed Naruto the most is me. Minato. I also had some selfish motives in sealing the Nine Tails into Naruto, hoping perhaps he could be different from previous Jinchuriki and control the Nine Tails' power. Minato. But instead, I harmed him. Naruto's growth was constantly disrupted by the Nine Tails' influence. Minato. No matter how hard he tried, it had no effect. Minato. I was an unfit, No, an unqualified father. Minato. Ah, now I understand the first Hokage's feelings. Minato. Kakashi, I'm counting on you. Please guide Naruto well. Big Dumb Hashirama at Kakashi, we're counting on you. Big Dumb Hashirama at Kakashi, the Kitahara Kaide and Naruto you're teaching now are Konoha's future. Tobirama. This heavy responsibility falls to you. Kakashi. Kakashi suddenly felt immense pressure. He had originally come to the small group to vent after realizing he couldn't teach Kitahara Kaide anything new given the latter's way of thinking. But now, he found himself shouldering a tremendous burden. Kakashi-sensei, are you okay? A voice brought him back. Kakashi looked over to see Kitahara Kaide noticing his troubled expression. So how did you figure out Tazuna was lying? Kakashi quickly changed the subject. Simple. Kitahara Kaide said. Or rather, didn't Sasuke notice? Sasuke hadn't caught on yet. We've been followed since leaving Konoha half a day ago. Kitahara Kaide said. What? Sasuke was stunned. There are 2 Chunin tracking us. From Kurigakure, most likely. It's been sunny yesterday and today. Don't you think it's strange there are so many puddles along the way? Kitahara Kaide said. Sasuke. Meaning his analysis was just theoretical, while reality was exactly as Kitahara described. The land of waves situation had changed, and Tazuna's escort mission actually involved ninjas from another village. Then, this would require combat. Leave it to me. Sasuke immediately shouted. Don't underestimate the Uchiha. Kitahara Kaide. Naruto, keep an eye on Sasuke. His actions are worrying. What's there to worry about? Sasuke felt humiliated. As if he needed help from the former dead last, Naruto. Even if Naruto managed to create 10 Iruka clones, something even he couldn't do, that didn't equate to real strength. Got you. Sasuke drew 3 kunai from his left leg pouch and threw them at a puddle. 2 figures were forced to emerge from the water. They wore Kurigakure forehead protectors. Just as Sasuke was feeling pleased. Sasuke. Naruto's shout came as Sasuke found himself bound by chains and hoisted into the air. Where he had stood moments before, a giant scythe now embedded itself into the ground. Had he not moved, he would have been split in 2. Just as I thought. Kitahara Kaide observed the scene. The wind stopped, the rain cleared, and Sasuke's showboating instantly backfired. This was an undeniable truth. Chapter 018. Mizukage candidate, Mei Terumi joins the group, requesting stats. This is. Sasuke was bound and suspended midair by iron chains, looking in astonishment at what had tied him up. These weren't real chains. They were golden and gleamed with light, forged purely from chakra. From their nature, these were chakra constructs. A mistake. Back where Sasuke had been standing, a large scythe was being retrieved. Only then did everyone notice 2 hidden mist village ninjas standing under a tree by the roadside. Or rather, they had been there the whole time, merely camouflaged. Sasuke's attention had been drawn to puddles that appeared despite no rain. But the real ninjas had hidden nearby. So, the puddles were meant to mislead the eye. And to make it convincing, the 2 Chunin had even placed real water clones in the puddles. In the end, Sasuke fell for it. Cough cough. Naruto let out 2 coughs. Because he was currently in a somewhat uncomfortable state. 3 chains had burst out from his body and were now binding Sasuke. It was thanks to these chains that Sasuke had been pulled up and suspended, dodging the attack from the hidden mist ninja. But clearly, Naruto wasn't used to this condition. Wait a minute. Is this the adamantine sealing chains? I actually used it. Naruto's face lit up with joy. This was the technique that Kitahara Kaide had told him about in the apartment, a signature move of the Uzumaki clan. And now, he could actually use it. This is Uzumaki clan's technique. One of the hidden mist Chunin who had ambushed Sasuke said. You're quite knowledgeable. This is the Uzumaki clan's exclusive technique, the adamantine sealing chains. After all, their clan has an absurd amount of chakra. Kakashi placed one hand on the Konoha headband covering his left eye and spoke. Younger generations and descendants _chat group. Big dummy Hashirama. Naruto Uzumaki really is something. Big dummy Hashirama. That's the Uzumaki clan's adamantine sealing chains. Tobarama Senju. His mother could use them effortlessly at any time. Tobarama Senju. But until 2 days ago, Naruto had been heavily influenced by the Nine Tails chakra. Now that the Nine Tails chakra has been sealed, he actually managed to use them. Tobarama Senju. So, Minato, in a way, your son is a genius. Minato Namikaze. Yeah, Minato Namikaze. It seems. I suppressed and held back Naruto's talent because of my personal feelings. Minato Namikaze. He really is a genius. Outside. Sasuke. Sasuke had been gently placed to the side by Naruto and was now free again. The two hidden mist Chunin, realizing the gravity of the situation, did not attack right away. Leaf Village Ninja. The two hidden mist Chunin exchanged glances. We don't want to fight you. Though the statement was a bit ironic, considering they had just tried to cleave Sasuke in half. But Naruto's adamantine sealing chains had shown them this wasn't a group to mess with. Just hand over Tazuna. We're willing to pay 100,000 Ryo. Kakashi. Wait a second. Realizing he'd been called out, and that his lies had been exposed, Tazuna quickly spoke up. Leaf Ninja, please don't abandon me. I am the only hope left for the Land of Waves. These hidden mist ninja are actually rogue ninjas hired by Gato. Gato is a businessman, but he's blockading the Land of Waves and forcing everyone to sell seafood to him only. He slashes the prices cruelly, which is why I want to build a bridge and restore commerce to the Land of Waves. But Gato is trying to kill me. I'm sorry for hiding so much. Tazuna said quickly. He had now realized these leaf ninja, though young and looking like rookies, were far from weak. So, maybe the Land of Waves really could be saved. As their Jonin leader, Kakashi didn't respond immediately. He looked toward Kitahara Kaide. According to the first and second Hokage, his current mission was to train the younger generation. And judging by Naruto, Sasuke, and Kitahara Kaide, clearly, the best bet was Kitahara Kaide. In terms of strength, he was definitely a heavyweight. And his thinking wasn't like that of an average rookie genin either. Naruto and Sasuke were still young. Sasuke was a bit slow. Naruto was still too reliant on Kaide. Given all that, Kakashi chose to trust Kitahara Kaide. Regarding that matter, Kaide thought for a moment. We can accept Tazuna's request. After all, we are Leaf Ninja. Damaging our reputation over a mission isn't a good look. Agreed, Kakashi nodded. Then, Kakashi turned to the two hidden mist Chunin. We can't accept your request. Or rather, we were never going to accept it in the first place. What do you take the honor of Leaf Village Ninja for? Kakashi's figure suddenly vanished, and before the mist ninja could react, they collided with each other and fell unconscious. Kakashi had appeared between them in a flash and disabled them both simultaneously. Amazing. Sasuke, now on the ground, noticed Kakashi's technique. This was the skill of someone forged through countless battles. Kakashi-sensei, go easy on them, Kaide suddenly said. Huh. Kakashi was surprised. After all, in a mission like this, enemy ninjas from other villages were legitimate threats. Because we still need to make a deal with these hidden mist ninja, Kaide said. What? X3. Not just Kakashi, but Sasuke, Naruto, and even Tazuna were stunned. According to Mr. Tazuna's explanation, Gato exploited the Land of Waves, resources, right? Then, he must have amassed quite a fortune. After becoming a ninja, I realized, it's an expensive career. A basic ninja tool kit costs 5,000 Ryo, and a deluxe one over 10,000. A single explosive tag is over 2,000. I think it's only fair for Mr. Gato to share a portion of his wealth with us. Kaide said. But as Konoha ninjas, we have our honor. We obviously can't be the ones to make Mr. Gato be generous. If not them, then wouldn't that job fall to the hidden mist ninja who had originally been hired by Gato? Ding. Just then, as the previous Hokage who were observing Kaide's actions watched in a daze, a new member joined the group. Inviting cage-level power, Hidden Mist's Mizukage candidate, Mei Terumi to the group. At Mei Terumi, congratulations, you've discovered a treasure. The name of this group is the Younger Generations and Descendants _chat group. Also known as the Kaide Kitahara Broadcast Group. This group transcends time, space, and even death, gathering suitable individuals together. At Mei Terumi, the current broadcast is about your hidden mist village. Mizukage candidate, Mei Terumi. What kind of treasure did I discover? Let me take a look. Oh no. Mizukage candidate, Mei Terumi. My hidden mist village ninja have been bought off. Chapter 019. Second Mizukage, Sir. Tobarama. Why are you calling the Hokage the Mizukage? Descendant chat group _. Future Mizukage, Mei Terumi. Mei Terumi stared at the screen in shock. Because what was being live-streamed was her Kurigakure ninja being swayed by Konoha ninja. Just now, you said you'd give us 100,000 Ryo to make us give up the mission. Then we'll give you 300,000 Ryo to hire you to fight Gato. A black-haired boy began persuading the two Chunin from Kurigakure. But the two Chunin immediately shook their heads. Impossible, we're not that kind of people. Then how about 500,000? We're not people who can be bought so easily. Doing this would be betraying our boss. 1 million Ryo. We can follow your orders today. 3 million Ryo. Please don't consider us as Kurigakure ninja today. 5 million Ryo. Deal. You can command the both of us however you want. In the end, the two Chunin from Kurigakure were instantly bought off. After all, they were just Chunin. The highest level missions they could take were B rank, and even then, the pay had to be split among teammates. So, the money they could make was really not much. Looks like it worked, Kakashi-sensei, said Kitahara Kaide. As for the payment, don't worry, the money comes from Gato's assets anyway. Yeah. Kakashi wiped his forehead with a towel. He was sweating bullets. Because he suddenly realized, he had underestimated Kitahara Kaide's thinking. When those two Kurigakure ninja agreed, Kakashi realized, he might have been part of a setup. Because when Mr. Tazuna first issued this C-rank mission, Kakashi had brought Kitahara Kaide and the others along. But based on Kaide's analysis, he had already suspected Tazuna was lying from the very beginning. And Kaide's original goal wasn't just to escort Tazuna, but to seize the economic assets of the Land of Waves. So, whether it was from the start, or tricking the two Kurigakure Chunin now, everything was part of that plan. So, this means Gato's threat will be eliminated. Tazuna asked excitedly. Yes, Kaide replied. We'll help the Land of Waves while completing this mission. You're a bridge builder. After this, you can build a bridge for the Land of Waves. To restore trade with the outside world. And after the bridge is built, the economy of the Land of Waves will improve. You won't have to worry about relying solely on sea routes being blocked. Kaide continued. That would be amazing. Old man Tazuna clapped his hands excitedly. He pulled out the sake gourd strapped to his back and took a swig. His face flushed red with joy. Oh. Hey Sasuke, does this mean we'll get a share of the money from this mission? Meanwhile, Naruto had already retracted his adamantine sealing chains. Sasuke was still dazed. But hearing the question, he nodded. If we deal with Gato, then we'll get a cut. We can upgrade our ninja gear. There are some things I want to get. TCH. I knew it. I'm not the top one, Sasuke muttered, giving up. In terms of combat, he was saved by Naruto. In terms of strategy, he was beaten by Kitahara Kaide. And now, he even had to rely on others to get financial resources. He admitted defeat. And so, the mood turned into a joyful atmosphere for Team 7. But, Kakashi. Kakashi covered one of his eyes. He wanted to shake his head. Because what Kaide was really planning wasn't just this. If there was no Gato, the land of waves, a country without ninja, might be exploited by other ninja villages hired by Kaide. And then Kaide would come and defeat those villains in a righteous and justified way. He'd take the enemy's assets as payment, and no one would complain, right? Of course not. The uninformed villagers of the land of waves would only see him as a savior. Quote. Quote. With that in mind, Kakashi looked at Kitahara Kaide in front of him. Kaide's back was facing him. But Kakashi felt like he was enveloped in darkness. Even though he wasn't facing the Rinnegan, he felt a shadowy sky looming behind him, and a pair of swirling purple eyes staring at him. The Rinnegan, Kitahara Kaide, was terrifying. Future Mizukage, Mei Terumi. Future Mizukage, Mei Terumi. Wait a second. Future Mizukage, Mei Terumi. Those two Chunin aren't registered Kurigakure ninja. They're rogue ninja from our village. Senju Tobarama. Future Mizukage, Mei Terumi. Future Mizukage, Mei Terumi. However, Mei Terumi didn't respond further. She immediately turned her focus back to what happened 10 minutes ago. At that time, she was busy working at her desk. Even though she hadn't officially become Mizukage, she had already started fulfilling the duties of the 5th Mizukage. So she was organizing Kurigakure's affairs. While she was sorting through records of registered ninja and rogue ninja, a strange screen appeared before her. It only displayed a few lines of text. Want to restore Kurigakure's glory? If you do, then join now. You have been detected. Mei Terumi, with cage-level strength, qualified to join the Descendant Juniors _chat group. Choose to accept or decline. Declining means you will no longer be eligible to join. This group is also known as the Kitahara Kaide Mini Livestream Group. It provides 3 hours of Kitahara Kaide livestream per day. Quote. Mei didn't reply. She kept reading. Descendant Juniors _chat group. A group that transcends time, space, and even death, bringing together cage-level juniors and descendants from different eras. Are you sure you don't want to join? From the text, she realized, if this wasn't a genjutsu, then she had just received something incredible. Because if cage-level powerhouses from different eras were involved, wouldn't that include the 1st or 2nd Mizukage? With Kurigakure currently in shambles, this could be a ray of hope. So, she agreed. And now, the livestream proved it. And in the group, there were indeed cage-level powerhouses. Senju Tobarama. That name was legendary in Kurigakure. Still, she had to confirm. So, Mei Terumi decided to speak. Future Mizukage, Mei Terumi. At Senju Tobarama, 2nd Mizukage, sir. Senju Tobarama. Big DUMD, Hashirama. Big DUMD, Hashirama. Whoa. Senju Tobarama. You little brat, are you doing this on purpose? Who are you calling 2nd Mizukage? Chapter 020. Terumi Mei. Facing 3 Hokage. Screw that. Seeking data. Descendant chat group _. Tobarama Senju. Future Mizukage. Terumi Mei. You're skilled in water-style jutsu, right? Tobarama Senju. Brat from Kurigakure. Future Mizukage. Terumi Mei. You're good at water shockwave, water dragon bullet, right? Future Mizukage. Terumi Mei. And water wall. You can even use large-scale techniques in places without water, like wastelands or deserts, essentially creating water sources artificially. Tobarama Senju. Tobarama Senju. Brat from Kurigakure, what are you trying to say? Future Mizukage. Terumi Mei. So it really is you. Future Mizukage. Terumi Mei. First time meeting. I'm a Jonin from Kurigakure, currently a candidate for Mizukage. Based on how things are going, I'll likely become the 5th Mizukage. Future Mizukage. Terumi Mei. Right now, I'm undergoing evaluations and assessments from the elders. Terumi Mei introduced herself. But, big dumb, Hashirama, PFF'd. Ha ha ha, Tobarama, so your fame comes from water-style jutsu. Tobarama Senju. Tobarama Senju. This is all because of you, big brother. What I excel at are forbidden jutsu. Tobarama Senju. The forbidden jutsu I developed myself. Tobarama Senju. But big brother always said those techniques were too dangerous and banned them. I didn't want my hard work to go to waste, so I wrote them in the scroll of seals. Tobarama Senju. But other ninja only ever saw me using water style. Tobarama Senju. So, this is all big brother's fault. Big dumb. Hashirama. I didn't think that far ahead back then. Tobarama Senju. That's exactly why I can't do anything about you. Life is hard, and Tobarama sighs. Being a Hokage but being mistaken for a Mizukage is also frustrating. Tobarama Senju at Minato Namikaze. Minato, are you skilled in fire style? Minato Namikaze. Well, I'm good at wind style. Tobarama Senju. Oh, that's not bad. Tobarama seemed to regain some pride. Because not all of Konoha's Hokage specialize in fire style. At least his big brother, himself, and Minato don't. So Terumi Mei's method of identifying people based on their jutsu specialty just shows her lack of experience. Future Mizukage. Terumi Mei. Terumi Mei. Terumi Mei had already confirmed that these people were the real deal, past Hokage of Konoha. Especially Hashirama Senju. According to notes left behind in the Mizukage's office by the first Mizukage, Hashirama Senju is so strong he doesn't seem human, with infinite chakra, like fighting a tailed beast. So this was probably real. Not just that. Even the second Hokage, Tobarama, had terrifyingly oppressive chakra. Terumi Mei. Future Mizukage. Terumi Mei. She suddenly wondered if joining this group chat had been a good move or not. Originally, she thought the first or second Mizukage might be in the group. As a successor, she could seek their guidance or advice. But, looking at the member list, Descendant Chat Group, _members, 5. Members. Tobarama Senju, Big Dumb, Hashirama, Minato Namikaze, Kakashi Hatake. Terumi Mei. These guys are all from Konoha. And the other person in the group, the one being observed. Kitahara Kaide. That black-haired, golden-eyed boy. He's also wearing a Konoha forehead protector. Damn it. Both villages are in decline, so why does Konoha get so much help? Tobarama Senju. By the way, Mizukage candidate, how did you get in here? Tobarama Senju. Isn't this a Konoha group? Future Mizukage. Terumi Mei. Judging by the member distribution and numbers, it is indeed a Konoha-dominated group. And she's the only outsider. But Future Mizukage. Terumi Mei. I think it's because of the group's name. Future Mizukage. Terumi Mei. First, it's called the Descendant Chat Group. Future Mizukage. Terumi Mei. You are all former Hokage, and I'm a future Mizukage. Future Mizukage. Terumi Mei. First, according to the system's evaluation, I have cage level strength. Future Mizukage. Terumi Mei. Second, in the history of the ninja world, Kurigakure is also part of that history. Future Mizukage. Terumi Mei. So, my ability to join suggests this group's scope might be much broader. Future Mizukage. Terumi Mei. Not limited to a single village, but aligned with the original first Hokage's vision. Future Mizukage. Terumi Mei. The 5-Cage Summit, sitting down to discuss and build a peaceful ninja world. Future Mizukage. Terumi Mei. So I believe this group is conceptualized around the entire ninja world. This explanation was essentially buttering up Hashirama. Clearly, it was a cautious approach. But Terumi Mei really did decide to play it safe. Because this group connects the past, present, and future. And right now, this group, damn it, is full of Konoha people. Doesn't that mean the advantage lies with Konoha? After the Bloody Mist era, Kurigakure can barely scrape together 10 genin candidates. What fighting power does it have left? Her. Yes. She alone could carry Kurigakure. The combined strength of the other Kurigakure ninja isn't even enough to challenge her. But she definitely can't beat Tobarama Senju, a guy who's a Hokage but is more of a Mizukage than the actual Mizukage. His water-style mastery is at least on par with hers. So he'd know exactly how to counter her water style. Even with her lava and boil release, her chances are slim. Not to mention, Tobarama has his big brother, Hashirama Senju. This reminded Terumi Mei of another note left by the first Mizukage. Once, I witnessed the first Hokage and Madara Uchiha battle. The first Hokage handled the Nine Tails like it was a chick. Absolutely terrifying. So just how strong was the first Hokage? And Kurigakure's 7 ninja swordsmen were originally modeled after Tobarama's innovations, adapted by the second Mizukage to fit Kurigakure's style. Thinking about it this way, her first and second Mizukage are long gone. So how can she stand up now? Future Mizukage, Terumi Mei. Although after the first Hokage's death, the Great Ninja Wars broke out, and Kurigakure was inevitably involved. Future Mizukage, Terumi Mei. But for thousands of years, people have been fighting each other. Future Mizukage, Terumi Mei. The one thing they never do is reflect on history. Future Mizukage, Terumi Mei. Though I'm just a woman, I want to look back at the past and choose a path toward peace for everyone. Future Mizukage, Terumi Mei. So, the first thing I'll do as the 5th Mizukage is sign a peace treaty with Konoha lasting at least 30 years. Future Mizukage, Terumi Mei. During my tenure, I will never declare war on Konoha. This statement was quite something. On one hand, it flattered Hashirama by invoking his ideals of peace. It also distanced Kurigakure's past involvement in the wars from Hashirama's vision. And finally, she emphasized her identity as a female kunoichi. Terumi Mei was clearly skilled in diplomacy. See. Big Dumb, Hashirama. This Hashirama, who had initially planned to scold the Mizukage candidate for intruding, found himself at a loss for words. In the end, he just nodded. But Tobarama Senju, Mizukage, is your village in serious trouble? Like, if another great ninja war broke out, Kurigakure wouldn't survive. Future Mizukage, Terumi Mei. Terumi Mei fell silent. Because that hit the nail on the head. Chapter 021. The most miserable person in the shinobi world, Uchiha Izuna joins the group, seeking data. Descendant chat group, _. Future Mizukage, Terumi Mei. Terumi Mei fell silent instantly. Future Mizukage, Terumi Mei. Ahem, how should I put this? I just wanted to demonstrate my friendliness toward Konoha as the next Mizukage. Tobarama Senju. Mizukage, don't lie. Future Mizukage, Terumi Mei. Tobarama Senju. Tell me, what's the current state of Kurigakure? Future Mizukage, Terumi Mei. Terumi Mei's spirit form pursed her lips. Future Mizukage, Terumi Mei. Fine, but Konoha has to take responsibility for this too. Terumi Mei knew that the weak had no right to fairness. Though she was the Mizukage candidate, she wasn't the Mizukage yet. And even if she became the 5th Mizukage, all she had to rely on was a broken Kurigakure. In its current state, Kurigakure couldn't be anyone's support. Thus, she was weak and helpless. But her opening statement wasn't bad, she'd already painted herself as a victim. Future Mizukage, Terumi Mei. I'm just a junior. I couldn't stop the great shinobi wars. Future Mizukage, Terumi Mei. But Kurigakure has been suffering under the influence of your Konoha's rogue ninja, Uchiha Madara. Big Dumb, Hashirama. Madara. Tobarama Senju. That guy, huh? Future Mizukage, Terumi Mei. Yes. Noticing the strong reactions from the two Hokage, Terumi Mei secretly sighed in relief before continuing with a mix of truth and lies. Future Mizukage, Terumi Mei. Though Kurigakure is still one of the 5 great shinobi villages, it's already as good as dead. Future Mizukage, Terumi Mei. Since the 3rd Great Shinobi War, Kurigakure has been enforcing the Bloody Mist policy, or perhaps even earlier. The Bloody Mist refers to forcing Kurigakure shinobi to kill each other, survival of the fittest. Future Mizukage, Terumi Mei. The requirement for the Chunin exams was to kill your comrades. Future Mizukage, Terumi Mei. This led to Kurigakure having the highest number of rogue ninja. Future Mizukage, Terumi Mei. Currently, Kurigakure has the most missing nin of any village. Future Mizukage, Terumi Mei. But after investigation, we found that the fourth Mizukage, Yagura, was being controlled. Future Mizukage, Terumi Mei. Well, I tried to assassinate Yagura to end the bloody mist, but I discovered he was under a genjutsu. Future Mizukage, Terumi Mei. And the fourth Mizukage was also the Three Tails Jinchuriki. Normally, Jinchuriki are resistant to genjutsu. Future Mizukage, Terumi Mei. The only ones who can control a Jinchuriki, or a tailed beast, would need the Sharingan. Future Mizukage, Terumi Mei. And the only Sharingan user strong enough to control our fourth Mizukage, could only be Uchiha Madara. Future Mizukage, Terumi Mei. So Kurigakure has been under control this whole time, forced to kill each other. Future Mizukage, Terumi Mei. And Konoha has to take responsibility for this. Big Dumb, Hashirama. Tobarama Senju. Minato Namikaze. After Terumi Mei finished speaking, all three of Konoha's Hokage fell silent. Big Dumb, Hashirama. Are you sure it's Uchiha Madara? Future Mizukage, Terumi Mei. I've never seen him, but only an Uchiha could have that kind of power. If not a rogue Uchiha from Konoha, then who else? Future Mizukage, Terumi Mei. And the Uchiha only exist in Konoha. Minato Namikaze. Are you certain the fourth Mizukage was controlled? Minato asked at this point. Tobarama, meanwhile, had already pieced things together. When Minato was the fourth Hokage, the Nine Tails attacked the village, and the perpetrator was a masked man with the Mangekyo Sharingan. Even in Tobarama's era, Mangekyo users were rare. People like Uchiha Madara, or Uchiha Izuna. Ding. Just then, a system notification sounded. Uchiha Izuna has been invited to join the descendant chat group _. Tobarama Senju. Tobarama Senju. Well, let's just ask him directly. Tobarama Senju. Though asking him might not help. Tobarama Senju. After all. Despite his usual stern expression, Tobarama's lips curled slightly at this moment. Tobarama Senju. This guy died before Konoha was even founded. And at the same time. Welcome, Uchiha Izuna, to the descendant chat group _. At Izuna, your old acquaintance Tobarama Senju is here. This group also livestreams Kitahara Kaide's activities for 3 hours daily. Uchiha Izuna. Uchiha Izuna. Uchiha Izuna. Tobarama Senju. You bastard. Uchiha Izuna. I see you. Future Mizukage, Terumi Mei. Why is this Uchiha so emotional? Minato Namikaze. Well, Minato Namikaze. According to historical records, this Uchiha Izuna, if that's really his name, was Uchiha Madara's younger brother. Tobarama Senju. And he was the one I cut down during the war between the Senju and Uchiha clans. Tobarama Senju. Right when he was showing off his Mangekyo Sharingan. Tobarama answered matter-of-factly. Ding. Thanks to Tobarama's explanation, Uchiha Izuna has been awarded a new title, Tobarama's Achievement. Tobarama's Achievement, Izuna. Tobarama's Achievement, Izuna. What the hell is this? Tobarama's Achievement, Izuna. What kind of stupid title is this? Big Dumb, Hashirama. Now, Izuna, calm down. I'm actually really happy to see you here. Big Dumb, Hashirama. It eases some of the guilt I've carried all these years. Big Dumb, Hashirama. I've always felt bad for Madara because Tobarama killed you. Tobarama's Achievement, Izuna. Tobarama's Achievement, Izuna. Your voice and tone sound familiar. Who are you? Big Dumb, Hashirama. Me. Uchiha. No, I mean, Hashirama Senju. Tobarama's Achievement, Izuna. Tobarama's Achievement, Izuna. Hashirama Senju. Hashirama. Big Dumb, Hashirama. That's right. Tobarama's Achievement, Izuna. And Tobarama is here too. Big Dumb, Hashirama. Yep. Tobarama's achievement. Izuna. Then what about my brother? If Tobarama killed me, my brother must have avenged me, right? Tobarama's achievement. Izuna. Oh, you're a spirit too. So you're all dead. As expected of my brother. Tobarama Senju. Ha ha ha. Tobarama suddenly burst into laughter. His spirit clutched his stomach, bending over as if in pain from laughing too hard. Tobarama Senju. Let me tell you something. Tobarama Senju. Your brother didn't avenge you. Instead, he joined forces with my brother to establish a village. Tobarama Senju. The village is called Konoha. Your brother named it. Tobarama's achievement. Izuna. Tobarama's achievement. Izuna. Tobarama's achievement. Izuna. My brother didn't avenge me, and then made peace with Hashirama Senju. Big dumb, Hashirama. Your brother was just being open-minded. Tobarama's achievement. Izuna. Tobarama's achievement. Izuna. What kind of nonsense is this? Tobarama's achievement. Izuna. Impossible. My brother swore to protect me with his life. Tobarama's achievement. Izuna. This can't be real. Izuna was completely unable to process this. Big dumb, Hashirama. Well, Izuna, it's understandable that you're upset. But this just proves how noble your brother was. Tobarama's achievement. Izuna. Then what about my brother? Did he at least become the village leader? Tobarama Senju. No. Tobarama answered immediately. Tobarama Senju. He became Konoha's first rogue ninja and was abandoned by the Uchiha clan. Tobarama's achievement. Tobarama's achievement. Izuna. Then, what is this place? Tobarama Senju. Most people here are from Konoha. Congratulations, you've walked right into the lion's den. Tobarama's achievement. Izuna. Damn it. At this moment, Izuna experienced the same despair as Terumi Mei. He had stumbled straight into a nest of Konoha shinobi. Chapter 022. The Executioner's Blade. It regrows by absorbing blood, but isn't that just because it breaks easily? Seeking data. Descendant chat group _. Big dumb, Hashirama. Now, Izuna, calm down. Big dumb, Hashirama. Honestly, I'm really glad you're in this group. Big dumb, Hashirama. Madara did become a rogue ninja of Konoha. Big dumb, Hashirama. But I still can't be sure if he completely betrayed the promise we made back then. Tobarama's achievement. Izuna. Big dumb, Hashirama. Not only did he not protect me, but he also made a promise with you. Tobarama's achievement. Izuna. Big dumb, Hashirama. Izuna, are you okay? Tobarama's achievement. Izuna. I'm far from okay. I must be under a genjutsu. Tobarama Senju. Snap out of it. Aren't you the one with the Mangekyo? Don't you need your Sharingan? Tobarama's achievement. Izuna. Tobarama Senju. And you probably don't know this yet, but above the Mangekyo is the Rinnegan. Tobarama's achievement. Izuna. What? Tobarama's achievement. Izuna. Then, my brother. Tobarama Senju. Not your brother. The current subject of this group's livestream, Kitahara Kaide, has the Rinnegan. Tobarama's achievement. Izuna. Tobarama's achievement. Izuna. Livestream, huh? Izuna finally realized he had been ignoring the system's notifications. He quickly turned his attention to the video feed at the center of the group chat. It showed a group of shinobi wearing Konoha forehead protectors. Among them was a boy in a blue jacket with the Uchiha clan's iconic fan emblem on his back. And when Izuna got a good look at this Uchiha boy, for a moment, he thought he was seeing his own childhood reflection. Tobarama's achievement. Izuna. Then Izuna noticed the strangest detail. When the Uchiha boy turned around, his face was identical to Izuna's when he was young. Tobarama's achievement. Izuna. Wait a second, these people. Tobarama Senju. Welcome to Konoha, year 61. Tobarama Senju. 60 years after your death. Tobarama Senju. And these are Konoha's shinobi. Tobarama's achievement. Izuna. Tobarama's achievement. Izuna. Izuna was speechless. Tobarama's achievement. Izuna. But, what's up with this Uchiha brat? Tobirama Senju. Right. Unbelievable, isn't it? This Uchiha Sasuke looks exactly like you. Tobirama's achievement. Izuna. Tobirama's achievement. Izuna. Yeah, at first glance, I thought I was seeing things. Tobirama's achievement. Izuna. So, the Uchiha clan is still around after 60 years. HMPH. Izuna grumbled but didn't press further. He had awakened the Mangekyo at a young age and even mocked Tobirama to his face, proof of his strength. So now. He began carefully examining the system panel in front of him. Tobirama Senju. As expected, even though they look identical, they're clearly two different people. Tobirama had already reached his conclusion. Kakashi had already tested it. Sasuke was just an ordinary Uchiha. Though he resembled Izuna, he was far inferior to the original. Future Mizukage. Tsurumi Mei. Tsurumi Mei noticed that ever since Izuna joined the group, the conversation had completely derailed. But she didn't mind. Because she still had no idea who had cast the genjutsu on the fourth Mizukage. So, pinning it on Uchiha Madara was just her throwing out the most infamous Uchiha name she knew. The fact that the second Hokage and the others weren't pressing the issue was the best outcome. For now, she would just lay low. Tsurumi Mei thought to herself. This was a Konoha-dominated chat, but since she could join, it meant other non-Konoha members might appear too. So, she'd wait for an opportunity to benefit Kurigakure. Tobirama's achievement. Izuna. I see. Tobirama's achievement. Izuna. I've got a rough understanding of the situation now. Izuna had finished reading the system's prompts. He now had a basic grasp of the current state of things. He confirmed that Big Dumb Hashirama was indeed Hashirama Senju, the man who had stolen his brother away. The title suited him perfectly. As for Tobirama Senju, even without a special title, he was just as annoying as ever. Then there was the fourth Hokage, Minato Namikaze, and the sixth Hokage, Kakashi. Izuna was silent. Konoha had really flourished. Ignoring the Mizukage candidate for now, the sheer scale of Konoha's development made him feel like he'd stumbled into something extraordinary. After all, he had died before Konoha's founding, and his brother had become a rogue ninja after its creation. So his existence was awkward. But whatever. Izuna had no intention of leaving the group. As a dead man, he had waited and waited, but his brother never appeared. So, maybe here, he'd finally get to see him again. He had so many things he wanted to say to his dear older brother. Meanwhile, in the real world, Kitahara Kaide and his team had safely arrived in the Land of Waves. If they had encountered enemy shinobi along the way, it might have been troublesome and delayed them. But the two rogue Chunin working for Gato had already betrayed him, so they guided the team smoothly. The two Kurigakure defectors quickly explained their situation. They were former Kurigakure shinobi who had fled the village due to the brutal Bloody Mist policies. They weren't fully up to date on current events, but they had pledged loyalty to their new boss, the former Kurigakure Jonin, Momochi Zabuza. And Zabuza had a special status. He was one of Kurigakure's 7 ninja swordsmen. The 7 ninja swordsmen were modeled after Konoha's Anbu. Each of the 7 blades has unique abilities. Zabuza Sama's executioner's blade has a special power. Not only is it massive and heavy, but it also has incredible spiritual energy. It can absorb the blood of its enemies, and the broken parts will regenerate. Like a lizard regrowing its tail, it repairs itself instantly. The two Chunin explained. Kakashi, as a former Anbu captain, already knew all this. In fact, he had detailed intel on Zabuza and Kurigakure's forces. But he let these rogue ninjas talk freely. It was a good opportunity for Naruto and Sasuke to learn. See. Naruto and Sasuke, on their first mission outside the village, were fascinated by these secrets. But then, if Zabuza's executioner's blade is so amazing, if it can keep absorbing blood and chakra to regenerate itself, doesn't that just mean it's fragile and breaks super easily? Naruto blurted out. And just like that, the conversation ended. Naruto didn't have many friends in Konoha. Maybe it wasn't just because he was the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki. Chapter 023. Look, the executioner's blade just broke, didn't it? Seeking data. The 7 ninja swordsmen of Kurigakure copied Konoha's Anbu. In other words, the second Mizukage was probably a fan of Konoha's second Hokage. The 7 ninja swordsmen of Kurigakure were quite interesting, each wielding a unique blade with different abilities. Of course, apart from the living sword Samahata, the rest were basically junk. Samahata was a small fish that had always lived alongside the 3 tails, clinging to its body and absorbing its chakra over time. As a result, it had become somewhat like a tailed beast itself. The greatest advantage of wielding Samahata was its ability to absorb others' chakra. It could replenish its wielder's chakra reserves. Wasn't that just like a portable charger? For its user, it was an invaluable treasure. It even saved them the trouble of constantly consuming soldier pills. And because it was alive, it could also cooperate with its wielder to perform jutsu. That was why it deserved to be the leader of the 7 blades. Kitahara Kaide, listening to their discussion about the 7 swords, decided to chime in with some additional details. He noticed that these 2 chunin didn't seem to know much. So that's how it is. But, one of the Kurigakure chunin asked, how do you know so much? 2nd floor of the Konoha library. 3rd shelf, 4th book in the J section of the Humanities and History aisle. The Culture of Kurigakure. Single quote quote. It's written in that book, Kitahara explained. Oh, that one. Sasuke recalled. He had been to the library before and had glimpsed it once. Nani. As for Naruto, whose knowledge was severely lacking, he had never even been to the library, let alone borrowed a book. Kakashi adjusted his forehead protector with one hand. He suddenly realized something important. Kitahara Kaide's vast knowledge wasn't just due to his sharp mind, he was also incredibly well-read. Perhaps. While the Hokage and others believed that Kitahara had gained the Sharingan and even the Rinnegan because his ninja rabbit bit him, or, from another perspective, that his bloodline had regressed to the era of the Sage of 6 Paths. But, was there another possibility? What if? Even if the ninja rabbit hadn't bitten him, Kitahara already possessed the potential to break through his bloodline and return to its primordial state. So, after biting Kitahara, the ninja rabbit had been so shocked. Hey! As Kakashi pondered this, he found the idea utterly fascinating. Could it really be possible? Meanwhile, Konoha, a small apartment. By the window of Kitahara Kaide's apartment, a pure white ninja rabbit with crimson-red paws stood gazing into the distance. Its eyes, also completely white, looked upward, toward the moon. Since it was daytime, the moon wasn't clearly visible. But the rabbit seemed deep in thought. It, too, wanted to ask. Could this really be possible? All it had done was bite Kitahara once, yet he had awakened the Rinnegan. Meanwhile, the Hyuga girl had merely split into a more talented personality. But why had Kitahara's bloodline directly regressed to that of the Sage of 6 Paths? This, it did not understand. Land of Waves. Sitting on a motorboat, Kitahara and his team would reach their final destination in about 20 minutes. As Old Man Tazuna had explained, the Land of Waves had been blockaded by Gato. In the past, the country had no bridge and relied on waterways for trade with other villages. But after Gato's arrival, he had sealed off the coast, forcibly bought seafood from the villagers at low prices, and sold daily necessities back to them at exorbitant rates. The people of the Land of Waves were trapped in a cycle: work and barely survive, or refuse and starve. Tazuna's goal was to build a bridge under these circumstances, reconnecting the Land of Waves to the outside world. Naturally, Gato opposed this. Many had been captured, and Tazuna's son-in-law had been executed as a result. Tazuna himself had also been placed on Gato's hit list. So that's how it is. That Gato guy is way too much. True to his naive nature, Naruto quickly grew furious. Quote. Sasuke, meanwhile, looked around warily. Hey, are those 2 chunin really reliable? Aren't they Zabuza's subordinates? If they're betraying him now. What if Zabuza kills them? Sasuke asked. If Zabuza disposes of those two Chunin, then we'll just have Zabuza carry out the mission himself, Kitahara said. Quote. Sasuke. Typical of you. Sasuke was impressed. However, the actual outcome might be something else entirely. Kitahara suddenly spoke up, his gaze shifting to a certain direction. Huh. Sasuke blinked. Then, his instincts kicked in. Everyone, be careful. Kakashi, who had been listening to Kitahara, immediately followed his line of sight. His years of mission experience sharpened his reflexes. In an instant, Kakashi appeared at the front of the boat, a kunai already in hand. Amidst the sound of wind and waves, a harsh metallic clang rang out. Clang. Sparks flew. But Kakashi's hand was now enveloped in a surge of purple chakra. Only then did Sasuke and the others realize. Kakashi had already left the boat and was standing on the water's surface. The kunai in his hand had fallen, but his palm now crackled with a concentrated mass of lightning chakra. Chidori! Kakashi shouted. The Chidori slammed into the executioner's blade. Crack! And the massive sword shattered instantly. Descendant chat group, _. Tobarama Senju. Mizukage, is this the famed executioner's blade of Kurigakure? Future Mizukage, Terumi Mei. Yes. Minato Namikaze. Just as my son said, it breaks pretty easily. Future Mizukage, Terumi Mei. At this moment, the future Mizukage could only feel utterly humiliated. Chapter 024. Jonanao. Mizukage-sama, what are you doing, seeking data? Terumi Mei felt utterly humiliated. The Seven Ninja Swordsmen of the Mist was a prestigious title, but in essence, they served as the future Mizukage's personal Anbu unit. So, if the executioner's blade was being disgraced right now, it meant she was being disgraced. After all, the current wielder of the blade belonged to the second generation of the Seven Ninja Swordsmen. Wait a minute. Terumi Mei suddenly realized something. Right now, Kurigakure's missing nin were gathering. And the wielder of the executioner's blade was none other than one of their most notorious missing nin. Momochi Zabuza. As the future Mizukage, she had two missions. 1. Revitalize Kurigakure. 2. Deal with the missing nin. But, dealing with them, didn't mean simply eliminating them. After the horrors of the Bloody Mist era, many capable shinobi had defected. These missing nin were not only powerful, but often morally intact. With Kurigakure currently weakened, bringing them back would significantly boost the village's strength. But tracking down someone like Zabuza was practically impossible. Wait. Zabuza. Isn't he right here? Holy, was she seriously this lucky? You search far and wide, only to find what you seek right under your nose. Future Mizukage, Terumi Mei has gone offline. Descendants chat group, _. Minato Namikaze. Future Mizukage, Terumi Mei has reconnected. Terumi Mei. My apologies. I'm still getting used to this chat group. Please ignore me, seniors. Minato Namikaze. Oh. Minato nodded slightly. The existence of this strange group still surprised him. But being able to speak with former Hokage and watch his son grow up. That was more than enough. Meanwhile, in Kurigakure, Mizukage's office. As the future Mizukage and strongest shinobi in Kurigakure, Terumi Mei lifted her face from her paperwork. She had tested it, multitasking was difficult at first. But after several attempts, she found that as long as she wasn't in direct combat, she could manage it. One part of her mind could linger in the chat group, while the other managed her real-world duties. She slammed her hand down. Ow. Come in, and bring Chojuro. We're heading out for a mission. Jonanao entered quickly, brow furrowed. With all due respect, Mizukage-sama, you have a mountain of documents. You can handle it. I've found intel on Zabuza. I'm going to apprehend him personally. I see. Then allow me to. No, not you. Terumi Mei shook her head. Actually, go assist the elders. They're getting old. They need someone they can trust. Ao blinked, stunned. A veteran Jonin, participant in the second and third grade ninja wars, Ao had always been considered one of the elders of the village. He expected to be Terumi Mei's trusted right hand. And now, not only was he being left behind, he was being banished to the outskirts. That's where the elders lived. This is a very important task. Terumi Mei said gravely. The elders are vital to Kurigakure. I trust you, Ao. Understood. Then she added. Try not to return to the Mizukage's office unless absolutely necessary. Was he being sidelined? Why? He didn't know it yet, but the truth was simple. His right eye was stolen by a Kugan, taken from Konoha's Hyuga clan. And now, with Terumi Mei showing goodwill in a chat group full of Konoha's former Hokage, a shinobi wielding a stolen Kekkei Genkei from Konoha was a problem. Or rather, a diplomatic disaster waiting to happen. Because Terumi Mei had made up her mind. Finding Zabuza was sheer luck, but what about Kurigakure's future? Yes, she was just a minor figure in the group. The first and second Hokage were far above her. But would she give up? Never. What Kurigakure needed most was time to recover from the Bloody Mist era and rebuild. And for that, the other villages needed to leave them alone. But how? She saw the answer. The entire group, their attention, their hopes, was centered on Kitahara Kaide. The group's alternate name, Kitahara Kaide Live Streaming Group. That said it all. Even if he never became the fifth Hokage, Kaide would undoubtedly become a key force in the shinobi world. So, while he's young, cling to him. She didn't need to flatter the dead Hokage. She needed Kaide himself. That was Kurigakure's only path forward. Konoha had fewer than 3,000 active shinobi. Kurigakure wasn't in much better shape. So, time to gamble. Terumi Mei steeled herself. Her life had been filled with training, assassinating the fourth Mizukage, and being buried under administrative work. A pure workaholic. But, let's not forget, she was also a woman. Kurigakure's culture left no room for romance, but she was undeniably beautiful. From her drawer, she pulled out a hairclip, finally tucking away the locks that always hid one side of her face. Then, she tied her hair into a sleek high ponytail. She touched it softly. Future Mizukage-sama. Ao was horrified. This unshakable workaholic was actually dressing up. I'm stealing a man. Winning his favor. Terumi Mei declared. If I'm lucky, I'll capture him. If not, I'll still leave an impression. And that'll be enough to save Kurigakure. Chapter 025. Izuna shocked. Uchiha had no Hokage, asking for support data. When Terumi Mei finally mastered multitasking and set off, on the waters near the Land of Waves, Kakashi stared ahead grimly. He realized he might have underestimated things. After his Chidori shattered the executioner's blade, a thick mist began to rise. The mist emerged from the center of the sea, merging with the surrounding sea fog to envelop everyone's vision. Kakashi focused chakra on the soles of his feet and stood directly on the water's surface. He held half of the executioner's blade in his hand, but his expression was full of caution. His chakra was limited. When he realized kunai couldn't block the opponent's attacks earlier, he immediately opted for his big move. Chidori. Though it broke the executioner's blade, it also consumed a quarter of his chakra. Now, the mist clearly wasn't natural, it had to be Kurigakure's hidden mist technique. So much fog. Can't even see clearly, Naruto muttered. Sasuke. Sasuke actually came in handy here. His dark pupils began to turn crimson. In his red eyes, a single tomo formed. A one-tomo Sharingan. Sharingan is the Uchiha clan's Kekkei Genkei, Sasuke explained, assuming Naruto and Kitahara Kaide were seeing it for the first time. It's one of the most powerful dojutsu. It can perceive all genjutsu, ninjutsu, and even taijutsu. It has the ability to copy and analyze. And right now, this mist is likely a Kurigakure jutsu. But, as long as we find the source of the opponent's chakra. Found it. Sasuke suddenly shouted. Kakashi-sensei, your left side, at your waist. Something's coming. Kakashi remained on guard, listening carefully to Sasuke's warning. He immediately raised the broken executioner's blade to block the left side. At the same time, his right hand, with the speed of a lifelong bachelor, swiftly pulled out 2 kunai. Clang! A spark flew from Kakashi's right side, at his back. Meanwhile, a figure appeared on his left, only to be struck down by the blade. It was just a water clone. The real Zabuza had attacked from the right. Sasuke had misjudged. If Kakashi hadn't been alert, he would have been cut in half by Zabuza. So his vigilance saved his life. Sasuke. Sorry. He hadn't had much opportunity to use the Sharingan back in the village, so he was still a newbie. Descendant chat group, _. Tobirama's achievement. Izuna. I can't watch this anymore. Tobirama's achievement. Izuna. How can this Uchiha Sasuke be this clumsy? Tobirama's achievement. Izuna. Is this what Uchiha has become? Senju Tobirama. He's weak, yeah, but wasn't this how you were as a kid? Tobirama's achievement. Izuna. He only looks like me, but I was a genius, he's not even close. Tobirama's achievement. Izuna. Senju Tobirama, are you always trying to argue with me? Big dumb. Hashirama. Now, don't fight. Big dumb. Hashirama. It's rare for the 3 of us to be together like this. Tobirama's achievement. Izuna. Who wants to be with you too? Tobirama's achievement. Izuna. I just want my big brother to show up. Senju Tobirama. Speaking of your brother, you're evil. Uchiha Madara became a Konoha traitor, and every major crisis in Konoha has traces of him involved. Tobirama's achievement. Izuna. Tobirama's achievement. Izuna. What's that got to do with me? Senju Tobirama. Nothing. Just stating facts. Tobirama's achievement. Izuna. Wait a second, Senju Tobirama, don't tell me you're trying to trick me into fighting my own brother. Senju Tobirama. Tobirama didn't reply. Because he was planning exactly that. Even though they were all dead now, his research and forbidden jutsu could still influence the future. One of his forbidden techniques, Edo Tensai, could bring the dead back to the living world. So, in the future, if Madara ever appeared again, Tobirama's idea was to use Edo Tensai to summon Izuna and have him go against Madara. If Izuna showed up and directly attacked Madara, the chance of success might be 70%. That was Tobirama's next move. At this moment, however, Izuna suddenly shouted. Tobirama's achievement. Izuna. Oh. That guy Kakashi also has a Sharingan. Tobirama's achievement. Izuna. Oh. Nice. Tobirama's achievement. Izuna. It's getting good. Izuna got excited. After being ambushed, Kakashi lifted the forehead protector that usually covered his left eye. And that's when everyone saw, his left eye was also a Sharingan. And not just Sasuke's one-tomo version, but a complete Mangekyo Sharingan. Tobirama's achievement. Izuna. This Uchiha Kakashi is actually quite impressive. Tobirama's achievement. Izuna. His group nickname is 6th Hokage, right? Tobirama's achievement. Izuna. Ha, the Uchiha clan is actually pretty strong. Big dumb. Hashirama. Senju Tobirama. PFF'd. Senju Tobirama. Ha ha ha. Tobirama suddenly burst out laughing. Tobirama's achievement. Izuna. Minato Namikaze. No, Kakashi isn't part of the Uchiha clan. Minato Namikaze. His Sharingan was a gift from Uchiha Obito, my student, who entrusted it to him before dying. Tobirama's achievement. Izuna. Tobirama's achievement. Izuna. Tobirama's achievement. Izuna. So my Uchiha clan never had a Hokage. Minato Namikaze. No, never. Minato replied helplessly. Tobirama's achievement. Izuna Hokage literally means fire shadow, doesn't it? And my Uchiha clan is born with fire release affinity. Minato Namikaze. Well, Senju Tobirama. Just keep watching. Tobirama spoke again. Even he found it odd. It made sense for Hiruzen to assign Kakashi to mentor Naruto, but Sasuke's abilities were so subpar, why would Kakashi personally take him on? Was there really no one left in the Uchiha clan?